हेलो एंड वेलकम एवरीवन, दिस इज प्रोफेसर सिद्धार्थ सुराना। आई होप यू गाइज आर डूइंग गुड और मैं तो हमेशा मस्त ही रहता हूं। वेलकम टू एपिसोड नंबर 7 ऑफ MCQ सीजन 3 applicable for May 22 and November 22, but as I have already told you, now new questions, if they come, I will be adding them in the book at the end, not adding in the individual chapter, so that I don't have to record these lectures again and again. Okay, this is going to be the most important episode out of all, because we are in PGBP, as you are aware. Last class we finished till question 150, but totally in PGBP we have 360 questions. It was never possible to do full PGBP in one class, and even after doing 150 questions we still have 210 questions. Under all circumstances, PGBP ka remaining questions I will be completing in today's episode. Then I will see if time permits. I may not be able to go to capital gain like our revision lecture. I might just pick up, if time permits, clubbing set of questions, so that I am left with only capital gain, other sources and deductions. Okay, but we are first going to do the remaining 210 questions of PGBP. And why is this going to be the most important? Maximum additions have taken place in PGBP. The new case studies that they introduced in PGBP, full long stories, and then 4 questions, 5 questions, etc. asked on that story. It's a very heavy lecture. Every minute detailed concept has been tested. It is not that the questions are outside of the Income Tax Act. Everything is from what we have studied in class, but whether we are able to apply our knowledge in solving of case studies. One mistake you make and you get the wrong option as your answer. So yes, there will be some easy questions at the beginning, but towards the end all those difficult case studies have been introduced. So it is going to be a lecture where you have to be very attentive, very patient. For now we will continue. Last class we finished up to question number 150. So we are continuing at question 151, which is on page number 162. Rohit and Company, an eligible startup, incorporated on 4th July 21, and it is engaged in the business of production of fertilizers. Turnover in financial year 21-22 is 5 crore and it holds certificate from IMBC. It purchased new machinery of 10 lakh and bonds of 5 lakh. Total profit for 21-22 after taking the benefit of 3580. Acha, it is in the business of fertilizer, so it is taking 3580 ka benefit. Means whatever asset is purchased except land, goodwill, financial instrument, 3580 ka benefit lene ke baad mein the profit that we get is 99 lakh. So what will be the 80IA index? Think about it. Eligible startup, hold certificate from IMBC, all the conditions are fulfilled. So mentally your answer is, and the turnover is up to the limit allowable for 80IA. Mentally you will say, sir, 100% of profits for 3 consecutive years out of first 10 years, and there's 99 lakh will be your deduction. But the truth, ladies and gentlemen, is this is testing on that point, whether you know that where you have income under 35 AD, that income will not be eligible for chapter 6A deduction. Special rates and 3580, 2 incomes, special rates and 3580, special rates and 3580, 2 incomes, isme se you don't get chapter 6A deduction. So no. Where any goods or services held for the purpose of specified business are transferred to another business carried on by the SSE, then the profit of the specified business shall be computed as if the transfer was made at what value? We have transferred our goods from our specified business to another business. Goods or services, then the transfer has to be done at fair market value. Inter-business transfer has to take place at fair market value. 35AD provides asset in respect of which deduction is claimed and allowed under 35AD shall be used only for the specified business for a period of how many years? What is the lock-in period? 8 years. 35CCC provides deduction of sum equal to dash of expenditure incurred for agriculture extension. Agriculture extension is 35CCC. Skill development 35CCD, which is only for company. These two once upon a time were 150, but now both of them are 100%. 35CCC is a deduction which will be available for all assessees. CCD, skill development, is only for company. If asset is used for purpose other than specified purpose, a business, during 8 years, then which amount will be taxable? What will be the amount taxable? The full cost you take as deduction, but you forego depreciation. So the cost of the asset minus the depreciation that you have foregone. This amount will become taxable in specified business, and now that the asset is moved to non-specified, then this amount will also become cost of acquisition for depreciation purposes. Supposingly I buy 1 lakh ka machinery, so I get 15% depreciation, normally 15,000, but in 35AD I take full 1 lakh. That means I lose my depreciation. full 1 lakh. So net benefit is 85,000 that I take. Same amount that we had in adjusted total income of AMT also. Now if I shift this asset to another business, that means after 1 year, that means in 35 AD I will have to pay tax on the deduction taken minus the depreciation foregone. So 85,000 will be taxable in 35 AD, and that 85,000 will become cost of acquisition of my normal business for the purpose of depreciation. So cost less notional depreciation. 35 CCD is available only to company, as I just now told you. 35D deduction for amortization of preliminary expenses is available to corporate, individual, HUF, firm, PBY, corporate as well as non-corporate. Corporate ke liye we have 5% of capital employed cost of project whichever is higher compared with actual expense whichever is lower. And non-corporate we directly take 5% of cost of project or actual expense whichever is lower. Deduction in respect of expenditure on skill development 35 CCD. This has also now become 100%. A Limited incurred 5 lakh on skill development project. This money is reimbursed by an institution. Then what will be your deduction? If this is reimbursed, that means from your pocket there is no deduction, no expense, so no deduction. BEF company partnership firm incurred 2 lakh on skill development project. What will be the deduction? Partnership firm not allowed. Skill development 35 CCD is only for company. A Limited incurred expenditure of 1 lakh on 4920 for conducting market survey and for feasibility report. It commenced its business on 5/5/21. What will be the deduction under 35D for the previous year 21-22? So, preliminary expenses is 1 lakh. Cost of project capital employed is not given. So, we have to assume that this 1 lakh is only your eligible expense. But deduction, as we are aware, is available in 5 installments. So, 1 lakh divided by 5, 20,000. A Limited and B Limited amalgamated to form C Limited on 5/4/21. On 5/4/21, A Limited incurred expense of 57,000 for amalgamation. Deduction under 35DD for 20-23. So, amalgamation is happening in the year 21-22 and they are asking you deduction next year. See, please understand, next year A Limited and B Limited do not exist, only C. So, what will be the deduction for A Limited next year? Next year A Limited will not be able to take any deduction because the company does not exist. A and B amalgamate to form C on this date, same. On 5/4/21, this time C Limited incurred 57,000 for amalgamation. Then what will be the deduction? If C Limited has incurred, then it will get the deduction 1/5 over a period of 5 years, जो 35DD का deduction है. So 57,000 divided by 5, 11,400 will be the deduction. Mahajan Limited incurred preliminary expenses of 260. It started operations on 1/4/21. On 31st March 22, cost of project is this 50 lakhs. Share capital 20 lakh, debentures 25, reserves and surplus 10 lakh. What will be the amount of deduction? So, this total will give us our capital employed. We have cost of project, we have to take whichever is higher. So, 20, 25, 45, 10, 55, 55 or 50. Cost of project or capital employed, whichever is higher. 55 ka 5%. Compare with actual expense, whichever is lower. And then 1/5 is going to be our deduction. So, what is the cost of project of the assessee? 50 lakh. Capital employed is 55 lakh. That's 20 plus 25 plus 10. Except securities premium. There is a Supreme Court judgment, Berger Prints. Securities premium will not be taken in capital employed. Other than that, everything will be taken. Between these two, you have to take whichever is higher. So, we take 55, 55 ka 5%. 275 compare with actual expense, 260. Whichever is lower, 260 will be your qualifying amount and 1/5 deduction. So, 52,000. 52,000 will be your deduction for the year. If there is a demerger, remaining unamortized preliminary expenses का deduction will be taken by demerger हो गया तो the new company will be taking. 35DDA amortization of expenditure on voluntary retirement. Voluntary retirement के अंदर कोई restriction नहीं. Voluntary retirement का deduction all assessees. 35DD amortization of expense for amalgamation and demerger. Obviously, amalgamation and demerger only applicable to company. Amount of deduction under 35DD amortization of expenditure under VRS shall be how much? How many years you apportion? Whatever is the amount paid to the employees, we apportion 1/5 over a period of 5 years. 37(1) allows capital expenditure, disallows, capital expenditure, personal expenditure penalty. 37(1) disallows all of the above. None of them are going to be allowed. Which of the following items qualify for deduction of additional depreciation? Ship and aircraft, no. Office appliance, no. So, obviously all no. Plant and machinery. Chintamani Furnitures, proprietor made payment to Manish 6 lakh on his voluntary retirement as per the scheme. On 6 December 18, that means 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, 21-22, 22-23, 5 years tak 1 lakh 20, 1 lakh 20, 1/5 over 5 installments, you get deduction. On 6/6/21, Chintamani Furniture succeeded by Chintamani Private Limited. That means the sole proprietorship has been taken over by the company. Then what will be the deduction? The deduction will be available to whom? First of all, if it is converted into a company, then the deduction is going to be available to the company. Let's be clear, deduction will be available to the company. So these two are wrong. Company ko milega. Okay. And what is the amount? 1/5 over a period of 5 years. So company will get this deduction. In this question created by the institute, there is one small defect, because that's not how it works. In the current year, the deduction, see, please pay attention, 18-19 was the year. So 18-19 ko if we pay 6 lakh, so we will get 120 for a period of 5 years. If there was no succession, then Chintamani Furnitures would have taken the deduction over 5 years. In 21-22 also, the deduction is 1,20,000. But on 6/6/21, this takeover took place. As per law, the deduction should be apportioned from 1st April to 5th June. The deduction should be given to Chintamani Furnitures. And from 6th June to 31st March, it should be given to the new company. So somewhere the option itself is wrong. They should give that this much of the old assessee and this much of the new assessee, predecessor and successor. This will be apportioned in the ratio of number of days, just like we do depreciation ka deduction, no? In the ratio of number of days, it has to be apportioned. But when the question is giving you only these options, in options may say, then most appropriate answer is going to be the company. Let me be honest, that way it is wrong, because 120 has to be apportioned between the company and the proprietor. But then in these options, we have got no other way, we will have to choose this. Mahavir and company has taken insurance on health of employees and paid 5,000 as premium in cash. What will be the deduction? Medical insurance premium ka cash, even if it is less than 10,000, cash is not going to be allowed. So cash is not allowed, matlab tick marne ka hai, cross nahi karne ka. Cash is not going to be allowed. Loan taken by Urmila LLP for paying off creditors. Interest on such loan was 15,000. Whether the deduction is available? Paying off your creditors, part of your business, and therefore interest is going to be allowed. Amount of deduction under 37(1), actual expense is going to be fully allowed. Which of the following premium is allowed under 36? Premium for employees, proprietor, children or personal care, these are all personal expenses. They will go in 80 days. This is going to be allowed. Lakhani and company incurred loss in specified business during the year. This loss, lapse nahi hoga. Against specified business or carry forward. So not lapse. Set off against business income? No. Carry forward and set off against business income? No. Carry forward and set off against specified business. Speculation and specified will be against same activity. Interest with respect to capital borrowed for any period from the date on which the asset was first put to use and the date of repayment. After the asset is put to use, any interest cannot be added to the cost. It will be taken as revenue expense. Deduction in respect of any sum received by taxpayer as contribution from his employees towards any welfare fund. So employee contribution, employee ke contribution se we deduct employee contribution to EPF, employee contribution to gratuity. This we have to deposit in the EPF fund, in the gratuity fund, on or before the due date which is given in the respective fund as per the POGA law, as per the means the gratuity law, the PF law, as per the fund due date. Even 43B is not going to be applicable. Which of the following deduction is not allowed to the employer? RPF is allowed, approved, everything is allowed. What will not be allowed? If it is unapproved. Deduction of dash under section 36 is available to employer's contribution on account of employee under pension scheme. Under section 36, when an employer is contributing to pension scheme, the deduction shall be restricted to 10% of salary. Well, salary will be basic plus DN terms. Basic plus DN terms ka deduction will be whatever is the actual contribution restricted to 10% of basic plus DN terms. Allowance for capital expenditure made on animals. Animals ke purchase cost is not allowed. In the year when the animal is sold, old animal or dead body of the animal, the difference between your original cost and the net selling price, the net cost is allowed as animal allowance in 36 in the year of sale. So in the year of purchase, there is not going to be any allowance. You will get the allowance only when the animal dies or it becomes permanently useless. M Limited contributes 20% of basic salary to the account of each employee under a pension scheme. DA is 40% of basic salary. Forms apart, matlab DA in terms. Compute the deduction not allowable under 36(1)(4) if the basic salary is 10 lakh. Basic 10 lakh. DA will be 40%, matlab 4 lakh. Matlab total salary that we will count for calculating that amount will be 14 lakh. Maximum deduction will be 10% of 14 lakh. Matlab what will be the allowed deduction? 1,40,000. 10 lakh plus 4 lakh ka 10%. And what is our actual contribution? Actual contribution is 20% of basic salary, 2 lakh. Matlab, in short, the contribution made by the employer is 20% of basic salary, 2 lakh, but the allowed amount is 10% of basic plus DA income. So 14 lakh ka 10, 140. So 2 lakh or 140, whichever is lower. What will be the allowable expense? 140 will be the allowable expense. 140 is given in option D. तो कोई को लगेगा सर 140 गधा. They are asking not allowed. Out of 2 lakh, if 140 is allowed, so not allowed. Same as one of the questions of transfer pricing in the last episode. Not allowed पूछा मतलब 60 will be your answer. Not allowed पूछा मतलब I think I have solved it also. Contribution 20% of 10 lakh is 2 lakh. Allowed is 10% of 10 plus 4, so 140. So disallowed amount the question is asking you. Disallowed amount will be 60. Deduction for provision of bad and doubtful debts can be allowed. Banks, all assesses, government, this is allowed only to banks. सबके लिए अलग-अलग limit है. There is one limit for foreign banks, 5% of income. There is one limit for financial institution. And there is another limit for scheduled bank, 8.5% of your income or 10% of rural advances. Sabka limits are separately given. We have some MCQs in which that will be taken care of, but this deduction will be allowed only to banks. State whether true or false. Assessee has to establish that the debt has become irrecoverable. Only if you prove. No. If you write off in accounts, it will be allowed. Assessee has business of manufacturing steel. It lent 5 lakh to his friend for daughter's marriage. Friend is not going to pay 2 lakh rupees, which is written off as bad debts. Whether it will be allowed? Is this a loss in course of business? No, and thus the 2 lakh will not be allowed. A and company sole proprietor concern was allowed as deduction of 50,000 in 1920 as deduction of bad debts. Business was closed in 2021. Subsequently, 25,000 was recovered, which was taken as deduction. So what will you do? It's a recovery of bad debts. Bad debts recovered will be taxable as PGBP in the year of recovery. Income has been recognized as per ICDS but not in books of accounts. Now some amount is irrecoverable. Whether it can be allowed as a deduction. What is the rule for bad debts? You have offered the income to tax. If you have offered the income to tax and it becomes bad debts, then you can take deduction. If you offer the income to tax as per accounts or as per ICDS, if you offer, then you will get deduction. Deduction allowed to foreign bank. This is what I was telling you about RDD. See, banks are only allowed RDD. Other assessees are only allowed actual losses. Banks will be allowed RDD. Foreign bank ke liye, the rule is only this much. Foreign banks will get only 5% of GTI. Scheduled bank ke liye, there is a separate rule. It will come in another MCQ. NBFC ke liye, there is a rule, but foreign bank ke liye, the rule is 5% of GTI. NBFC ke liye. NBFC has created 25,000 RDD. GTI before this deduction is 4 lakh. NBFC also, the rule is 5% of your income. 5%. So, NBFC, foreign bank, 5% of your income before this deduction will be allowed as your RDD. And scheduled bank ke liye rule is 8.5% of GTI plus 10% of rural advances. आएगा वो देखेगा हम लोग. Okay. But here, what is 5% of 4 lakh? 20, and 20 or 25, whichever is lower. So 20 will be allowable as a deduction. Amrit Bank, this time a scheduled bank, it will get deduction. Scheduled bank ka rule is 8.5% of GTI plus 10% of rural advances. So foreign bank 5% of GTI, NBFC 5% of GTI, scheduled bank 8.5% of GTI and 10% of rural advances. If an item of stock is converted into capital asset, then the amount taxable under PGBP shall be very easy. FMV on the date of conversion. Bank of India scheduled bank has created 50,600 as RDD. Its aggregate total advances are 4 lakh, in which rural are 250. So rural advances ka 10% mein khali 25 we will take, and GTI is 3 lakh. And what is the rule for scheduled bank? 8.5% of GTI, 8.5% of GTI and 10% of rural advances. Of course, subject to this actual, whichever is lower. So 8.5% of your GTI, 25,000, and 10% of rural advantage. 25,500 and 10% of rural advances. 5,500 is the maximum. Your actual is 5,600. So actual 5,600 restricted to maximum of 50,500. A Limited incurred 2,50,000 as revenue expense and 5,50,000 as capital expense for promotion of family planning. It's a company, so allowed. If it was other assessee, so family planning expense is not allowed. For company, revenue is fully allowed, capital 1/5. Revenue full, capital 1/5. So 250 plus 110, 360 is going to become, have I solved it? I don't know. No. अरे जो easy वाला है ना, that I have not solved. देखो common sense है. It does not make sense to solve all the sums. Some sums are very easy. Revenue fully allowed and capital का 1/5. So 250 plus 110, 360 is going to be your deduction. Bad debts recovered are going to be ignored. नहीं, you have to tax taxable PGBP by revising the year. नहीं, in the year of recovery. So no, IFOS no, taxable under PGBP in the year of recovery. Deduction under 3619 for family expenditure, family planning expenditure is allowed. अभी तो बोला company को allowed. True or false? CTT and STT is allowed as deduction only if it is incurred with respect to sale and purchase of securities entered in course of business. Absolutely true. If you pay CTT, STT under capital gain, it will be disallowed. If it is paid in course of business, then it will be allowed. Be limited as deduction of capital expenditure 7 lakh on family planning of its employees. Profit for the financial year 21-22 is 360 before this deduction. 360 का तो deduction आपको मिल जाएगा. What will happen to the remaining 340? देखो, capital expenditure incurred must be 35 lakhs. Please pay attention. They are saying deduction in the current year is 7 lakh. मतलब this 7 lakh is already 1/5. Total का 1/5 करके you are getting. They are saying the deduction. They are not saying expense incurred is 7 lakh. अगर expense incurred 7 lakh होता तो we would have done 1/5 and 140. Deduction is 7 lakh. मतलब 35 का 1/5, 7 lakh is your deduction. But your profit is only 360. अब 360 का profit है तो उतना तो you will adjust. Remaining 340. This is the rule. Family planning expense and scientific research capital expense. Capital expense of family planning and scientific research will be treated as UAD. Unabsorbed depreciation is normal capital expenditure. Scientific research and family planning, these together will be carried forward together, and thus जैसे UAD होता है, it will be carried forward indefinitely. XYZ partnership firm paid Keyman insurance premium of 6 lakh for its partners on 5th July 21. Whether it will be allowed? Yes, it is required for the business that the partner stays alive and thus allowed. What are the conditions to be fulfilled for getting deduction under section 37(1)? Expenditure should not be in the nature of personal expense, barabar. Should be expended wholly for business, barabar. Business carried on by assessee should not be capital. Yes, all of the above. Which of the following expenditure will not be allowed as a deduction? Keyman is allowed, bad debts is allowed, CSR expenditure 37(1) बोलता है, not allowed. Whether expenditure in providing freebies to medical practitioners will be allowed as a deduction. This is again a case law, the case law of CAP Scan and Diagnostic Center का भी case law है, and then Confederation of Indian Pharmaceutical Industry. Any kind of commission or anything provided to medical practitioners not going to be allowed. Makhija Limited incurred following expenditure. MTM losses as per ICDS. If it is as per ICDS, it is allowed. CSR expenditure not allowed. Interest on capital borrowed, nothing is given, so assume for business. And Keyman insurance policy also allowed. Advertisement in souvenir of political party, this is not going to be allowed. PGBP में तो not allowed. It will be allowed होगा तो भी chapter 6 है. What will be the amount of deduction admissible? 30,000, 90 and 64. That's 184. 30, 90 and 64. That's going to be 184. 1,84,000 is going to be your net deduction. That's question number 203. Under 40A, if royalty is paid to dash and TDS is not deducted, the entire amount of royalty will be disallowed. When is the entire amount disallowed? Only when you pay it to a non-resident. If you pay to resident, only 30% is going to be disallowed. Reliance Industries launched a project, cost of which was 60 crore. Project was abandoned. What will be the treatment of this 60 crore? This is again the Supreme. This is again the Delhi High Court judgment of PVR, Priya Village Road Shows, where if the project is abandoned, then you can take it as deduction under revenue expense. Expenditure on development of infrastructure facility being road, highways will not allowed, fully allowed in year of completion, allowable as business expenditure, allowed in the year when agreement entered between government and developer. It is going to be allowable in course of your business because it also forms a part of 35 AD. Mr. A paid interest of 70,000 to NR and no TDS was deducted in 2021. Matlab last year it must have been disallowed. TDS deducted in 21-22 and paid to central government. So what will be the treatment of this 70? Last year it got disallowed. If last year it got disallowed, so this year what we will take? take deduction. Disallowance of expense in form of dash will be made if payment to NR but TDS is not deducted. Any expense paid to NR, if you don't deduct TDS, you will be liable for disallowance. 201 provides that payer who fails to deduct the whole or any part of the tax on amount credited or payment to resident pay shall not be deemed to be assessee in default. If supposingly I pay to a resident but I don't deduct TDS, no problem, you will not be an assessee in default if the resident files return, shows his income, pays tax, gets a certificate from CA that I have fulfilled all the conditions. So, as furnished return, taken that income, paid the tax, in fact CA certificate is also required. So, in the return everything will be taken care of. 40A provides that dash of any sum payable to resident on which tax is deductible shall be disallowed if such tax is not deducted. So, in case of resident it will be 30% is going to be disallowance if the payee is resident. Person responsible for deduction of tax will not be deemed to be assessed in default if resident payee pays taxes. It will be deemed that the payer has deducted taxes and paid. Which date will be taken to stop your non-deduction interest? Which date will be taken? That, see, first the resident payee will pay his taxes, then he will file return. Your interest will go on till the date on which your payee files return. Miss Saloni Mehta paid 5 lakh to Mr. Mayank Sood as commission of 4 lakh. Paid 5 lakh and commission of 4 lakh is payable. Matlab 5 lakh is already paid and 4 lakh is payable. Total 9 lakh. Paid 5 lakh and 4 lakh is payable. But she did not deduct TDS. Expenditure disallowed in the hands of Saloni. See, one way you can say, sir, individual is paying, so last year ka turnover ka data is not given. But they are asking disallowed and they are not giving 0 in the option. That means you have to apply disallowance. 5 lakh is paid, so that you will apply. 4 lakh is not paid, but still credited or payment, whichever is earlier. So, entire 9 lakh is going to be liable for deduction, and 9 lakh ke upar if TDS is not deducted, so 30%, 2 lakh 70 is going to be a disallowance. Royalty paid to Miss Chandrika resident, TDS deducted of 5 lakh on 6th May and deposited to the government on 15th November 22, matlab next year. TDS is deducted but deposited next year. Deduction in respect of royalty in 21-22, matlab current year mein kitna, and 22-23. How much will be deduction in current year and next year? Assume due date is this. Haan, zaruri hai. Agar she was having transfer pricing and due date was November, so it is paid before that date. But we have October due date, that means paid after due date. That means this year we will disallow 30%. That means we will allow, they are asking what will be the deduction. So this year we will get 70% deduction. And next year, because we have paid, so remaining 30 next year. So, 350 will be allowed in the current year and the remaining 150 will be allowed in next year. Mr. Baga is required to pay 1250 as salary to Thomas James on NR on which TDS is not deducted. Then what is going to be the disallowance? Very easy, non-resident ka 100%. Following payments were made by Mr. Amar, resident businessman whose turnover for last year was 99 lakhs. Matlab last year his business turnover, business bola hai, profession nahi hai. Business ka last year ka turnover is not exceeding 1 crore. Interest 12,000 paid to Gisulal resident partnership firm without TDS. Interest 194A, no TDS because 1 crore cross nahi hua. Profession hota to we would have seen 50 lakh. Interest ka section, aa cheez ka section, no TDS. 8 lakh salary was paid to resident individual without TDS. This attracts TDS. So this we will take for disallowance. And 14,000 also is a part of aa cheez. So TDS not required. So disallowance will not get attracted on these two amounts. Only 8 lakh ka 30% will be disallowed, and only 8 lakh ka 30% means 2 lakh 40,000. Ms. Malika paid 7 lakh to Facebook Incorporation on which equalization levy was not deducted. What will be the disallowance if the payee is non-resident? 100% disallowed. Employer paid 4 lakh as salary and 30,000 as perquisite. Employer paid 2,000 as tax on perquisite on behalf of employee. What will be the amount of deduction? Salary paid will be allowed. Perquisite provided to employee will be allowed. But tax on perquisite paid will not be allowed. So 4 lakh and 30 will be your deduction. Where an individual is a partner in a firm otherwise than in a representative capacity, interest paid to him shall dash if he received on behalf of other person. Matlab A is partner and receiving interest on behalf of HUF or wife or anyone, then 40B is not going to be applicable. In that case, it is going to be fully allowed. 12% limit not applicable. Kamal AOP paid interest of 5 lakh to members and 250 as bonus. What will be the deduction? When firm pays, it gets limit within the 40, it gets deduction within the 40B limit, but when AOP pays, fully disallowed. Puja partnership firm paid the following remuneration. Remuneration to non-working partner, irrelevant. Working partner in 21-22, this is actual remuneration. Working partner ka last year ka remuneration, irrelevant. interest to partners authorized from the starting, 15% is paid at 350. 15% interest is paid 350. Partnership deed was executed on 1st August authorizing payment of remuneration. Matlab as actual we are paying from April, but deed authorizes only from August, and book profit is given to you. What will be your deduction under PGBP? What will be your deduction? Matlab we will have to calculate properly 40B. As far as interest is concerned, 350 is paid at 15, then 12 is how much? If 350 is 15% and it is authorized right from the beginning, matlab from first day we will count. If it was authorized late, then again we would have to calculate for that particular period. We did that one big case study in partnership if you remember. So 350 divided by 15 into 12, this is your interest deduction. As far as remuneration is concerned, actual is 540. As per deed, we will take only 8 by 12 because deed is authorizing remuneration only from 1st August. So 540, only 8 by 12. Only 8 by 12 is authorized by the deed. So 360, and book profit is given to you 9 lakh. So 3 lakh ka 90, 6 lakh ka 60, that will give you 630. Out of the through whichever is lowest. So 360 is going to be your allowable remuneration deduction here. 280 plus 360, total deduction will be 6 lakh and 40,000. Total deduction 640. A firm has paid 750 as remuneration to partners 21-22 accordance with the deed and has book profit of 10 lakh. What is the remuneration? Some more partnership question. Book profit is 10 lakh. So 3 lakh ka 90 and balance ka 60 and 750 is actual assuming as per deed. So I think we can apply same limits. Actual and as per deed 750 and then 90% of 3 lakh and balance is this 690. So 750 or 690 out of the two, whichever is going to be lower is going to become your deduction. State whether true or false. 40A2 provides that assessee incurs expenditure in respect of which payment has been or is made to specified person. So much of expenditure is considered to be excessive or unreasonable shall be disallowed. Excessive payment will be disallowed. Mr. A practicing CA paid 20,000 in cash for stationery expenditure on 20 July 21. What will be the deduction? Allowable. 10,000 से ज़्यादा cash दिया, no deduction. Payment or aggregate payment up to dash in a day can be made to transport operator otherwise than by way of the allowable modes. Transporter के लिए what is the threshold? Transporter को we can pay up to 35,000. According to 40A3, where assessee incurs expenditure in respect of which payment is made to a person in a day, otherwise than by way of account paid check, drawn on bank or account paid draft or use of ECS through bank or other prescribed mode exceeds dash. Matlab we are not talking about this time transporter. This time we are talking about the normal remit, and normal remit for this provision is 10,000. Mr. Dev paid interest of 20,000 in cash on a single day to SBI. What will be the expenditure? Allowable. Whenever the payee is bank, government, there are exceptions given in Rule 6DD. This falls in a case of exception. This interest will be fully allowed. Ram Dayal, age 21 years, incurred expenditure of 15,000 in 2021 for stationery. In 21-22, expenditure of 15,000 was paid in cash. What will be the treatment? Last year we must have taken deduction on due basis. This year we have violated at the time of payment. So whatever deduction we have taken last year, we have to reverse and we have to add it to income. Utkarsh and company paid 45,000 in cash on single day to employee as retrenchment compensation. What will be the treatment? Whenever you pay retirement benefits or leave encashment, these employee benefits up to 50,000 rupees are going to be allowed as a deduction. This is also an exception. Even if it is more than 10, it is an exception. Provision for gratuity is going to be disallowed. Gratuity will be allowed only if actually paid. Sanskriti Agarwal made the following payments in a single day in cash. Cash payment single day. Calculate the allowable expenditure. Stationery shopkeeper single day. Not allowed more than 10. GST government ko diya. Allowed. Farmer allowed. And for supply of steel 98 not allowed. So these two are exceptions. They fall in Rule 6DD. 78 and 36. 78 plus 36 total 1,14,000 will be your allowable deduction. Mr. Kamlesh made the following payments in cash. Whether expenses are allowed under the head PGBP. Ashish residing in village of 25,000 where there is no bank. No bank, it will fall in exception. Allowed. Office expense of 9,000 paid to Sunil. Even if it is cash less than the 10,000 ka limit, of course allowed. Salary of 40,000 to Vinod who is posted for temporary period of 25 days. Whenever you send employee on a temporary posting and that period exceeds 15 days, then that also falls an exception in Rule 6DD. Temporary posting exceeding 15 days, that will also fall as exception. So 40 will also be allowed, but factory expense not allowed. So 40 plus 25, 65 plus 9, your allowable expense finally is going to be 74,000. Champalal and company made contribution to renowned AOP of 50,000 for welfare of its employees. Whether deduction will be allowed, deduction not allowed. This is also a case law. Just let me be clear this much, that for getting deduction, the money has to go in your hands of employee, in the hands of your employee. Just paying an AOP is not enough. The money has to go in the hands of your employee. State whether true or false, deduction in respect of gratuity will be allowable to the employer in the year when the gratuity is actually paid. Absolutely true. Next, Lalit. Mirzapur fans. Lalit proprietorship business follows mercantile system of accounting and therefore made 150 as gratuity provision and debited 150. What is going to be the treatment? Till the time it is not paid, not allowed. So if you have debited, what you have to do? You will have to add it back. Anushri Kainia, running a proprietorship business, purchased asset in foreign currency for her business for $10,000. On that date, the exchange rate was 74. And the date of purchase exchange rate was 74. She made payment of $10,000 on 28 February 22, where the rate increased to 70. But dollar ka rate can increase. So 10,000 which I was going to get in 74, now I will get in 76. Matlab 2 rupees per $2 extra, 2 rupees per dollar extra. So total 10,000 ka additional I will be paying 20,000. What will be this? Is it related to purchase of asset? If it is related to purchase of asset, it is like the purchase price has increased. We will add it to the cost of the asset. Mr. A took a loan for his business on 1/4/19 for 5 years. He debited the P&L with 36,000 interest in 1920 and 2021 each. As on 31st March 20, A closed his business. Subsequently, in 21-22, the interest paid was received back. What will be the tax treatment of the interest received? If you have taken deduction of anything and that amount is recovered, just like bad debts, then that will be taxable. So 36 plus 36, 72,000 will be taxable. Certain deductions are allowed only if payment is made. Which of the following are covered? Any kind of indirect taxes, yes. Contributions towards PF and bonus commission also covered. So all of the above. State whether true or false. Any sum payable by assessee to Indian Railways for usage of railway asset is allowable only if actual payment is made on or before the due date of filing return. Yes, because it is covered under 43B. When stock in trade of amalgamating company is taken over at revalued price by amalgamated company, cost of acquisition when this stock in trade is subsequently sold by the amalgamated company, what will be taken as cost of acquisition? Whatever cost to the previous owner ka concept we apply, that same concept is going to be applicable here also. Mr. Prakash engaged in cloth trading business. His outstanding interest on loan taken from scheduled bank is 45,000 to be paid in 2021. On 30th 6/21, he converted it into 45 installment. Matlab 45,000 is unpaid interest, it will get disallowed, and he converted into 45 installment. Matlab 1,000 ka installment he will pay, and he paid 5 installments in 21-22. 29 July ko 5 installments matlab 1,000, no, 45,000 divided by 45, 5,000 pay kiya. What will be the deduction? Deduction is allowed only on payment basis. So this time you have paid only 5,000, you will get deduction only of 5,000. Whereas assessee has acquired any asset from foreign country due to change thereafter in exchange rate of the two currencies, what if there is any increase or decrease in liability? Just in the question of Anushri, there was an increase in your liability. So what will happen? If it is related to asset, we will adjust, whether increase or decrease, we will adjust in the WDV. State whether true or false. In case of transfer of land and building being stock in trade, stamp duty value should not be considered, only actual. No, 43 CA is going to be applicable, stamp duty value will be considered. Mr. Lodha, a resident builder who sold land held as stock in trade on 9/1/22 for 5 crores, stamp duty value is 6 crore and purchased for 4.75. What will be the profit? First of all, cost inflation index is irrelevant. Sir, why sir? Sir, because it's a builder, 43 CA will be applicable. Cost will be 4.75. What will we take as sale consideration? Actual or stamp duty value, whichever is higher. Actual or stamp duty value, whichever is higher. But with a facility. Agreement date, well, nothing is given about that. VO, nothing is given. But there is one more facility. If the difference is up to 10% on actual. What is actual? 5 crore. 10% of 5 crore, 50 lakh. Is the difference within 10%? No, it's more. So you will have to take 6 and 1.25 will be taxable. 1.25 will be taxable. If the difference was within 10%, then we would have taken 5 crore as our answer. Difference is more than 10%. When capital asset is converted into stock in trade and subsequently sold, what will be cost of acquisition of PGBP? In capital gain, we take fair market value on the date of conversion as selling price, and the same becomes cost of acquisition for the purpose of FMV on the date of conversion. Mohit Gupta, resident builder, sold plot of land held as stock in trade for 5 crore. Stamp duty is 5.1 crore and purchase price is 4.75. What will be the profit? Again, cost inflation index is irrelevant because he is a builder. 43 CA will apply. Same question apparently. Difference is this is 5, this is 5.1. And now the difference is within 10% of actual. 10% of actual is 50 lakhs. Difference is only 10 lakhs. If it is within the range, then we will take this. And 5 minus 4.75, only 25 lakh will be taxable this time. When an agreement for fixing the value of consideration for transfer of asset and date of registration are not same, stamp duty value may be taken as on the agreement, date of agreement of transfer, provided at least a part of consideration has been received through dash. What are the allowable modes? Account pay check, account pay draft, electronic mode. That means all of the above. In case of public financial institution, income by way of interest on such categories of bad and doubtful debts as may be prescribed shall be. In case of PFI and all, you are going to be allowable as deduction, but if there is any income later on, it is recovered. If later on there is any income with respect to this, then you will have to pay tax in the year in which you credit to the P&L account or the year in which you receive. If you receive, you have to pay tax. If you credit, you have to pay tax. Whichever is earlier, you have to pay tax. ABC, a CA firm, received total fees of 18 lakh from clients during the year and has opted for 44 ADA. Expense incurred is 5 lakh. What is the income under PGBP? For opted liya matlab expense is relevant. 50% directly you will apply and you will get 9 lakh. When the valuation of asset referred to the valuation officer and the value so ascertained by the VO exceeds the value adopted by the stamp valuation. The VO is an idiot. The VO cannot exceed the stamp valuation authority. Then what will be taken? We will be taking the value of the stamp duty value only. VO cannot be more than stamp duty value. Otherwise, stamp duty value is higher. Mr. Shankar transferred land for 100 lakhs on 1/5/21. Date of agreement was 1/9/20 on which 10 lakh was received in cash. Then this facility not available. Advance has to be received in allowable mode. Stamp duty value on date of agreement is 120. This facility is not available because advance was received in cash. And registration is 210. What will be sale consideration? If this was in an allowed mode, we would have taken 120. But it's a disallowed mode. So what will you take sale consideration? This facility is not available. So you can compare only 100 and 210 and the difference is well above 10% and thus 210 has to be taken. Books of accounts and documents under 44AA shall be kept and maintained for a minimum of how many years from the end of the relevant assessment year? Normal rule is 6 years from the end of the relevant assessment year. As per rule 6F, every person carrying on notified profession shall keep and maintain books of accounts and other documents in its gross receipts exceed how much? For specified profession if it exceeds 1,50,000 in all the years. Assessee being a retailer with 100% sales in cash is required to get his accounts audited if the total sales in turnover in business exceeds, say 100% cash, matlab that new amendment of 10 crore is not allowed, and then 1 crore will be your rule. Let's be clear, your answer will be 1 crore. 2 crore only for that assessee who opts for 44 AD. Mr. Prashant Kokitkar, a cameraman's gross receipts for the following previous year are as follows: 18-19 160, 19-20 150 and 20-21 175. Whether he is required to maintain books of accounts. He is a specified profession cameraman. All 3 years have to exceed 150. Exceeding equal to not cover, and whether he is required to maintain books of accounts? No. In case where income of assessee other than individual HUF from business exceeds 250 or sales turnover in business exceeds 25 lakh in any of the 3 years, then such assessee is required to maintain books of accounts. Yes, 250 and 25 lakh. In which of the following cases audit is required? Assessing engaged in business and turnover is 1090. Yes. Audit will be required. No presumptive. Notified profession. Yes. Political party also. Yes. And that means all of the above. State whether true or false. If audit is required to be done under other law, then tax audit is not required. Other law, to hell with it. Tax audit will be required under all circumstances if 44AB ka conditions are fulfilled. Audit under 44AB is not required under which of the following conditions? Person who declares PGBP on presumptive and turnover does not exceed 1 crore. So not required. Person who derives income of this presumptive taxation, again. Turnover below 1 crore, again. That means in all the cases audit is not required. Presumptive taxation under 44AD covers small business with turnover up to, very easy, 2 crore. Assessee is required to get his accounts audited if the receipt in profession ke liye answer is going to be 50 lakh. Form of tax audit report under 44AB. 44AB ke liye, what is the form of tax audit report? Form 3CA, 3CD. 44 AD is not applicable to which? Resident individual, LLP, HUF, resident individual, resident HUF, resident LLP, a resident firm but not being LLP. 44 AD and as per amendment now ADA also not available to LLP. State whether true or false. Depreciation has to be calculated with respect to asset even if the assessee opts for presumptive taxation. Depreciation is compulsory to be calculated. Which of the following persons are excluded from 44 AD? Specified profession? Yes. Commission? Yes. Agency business? Yes. All of them have been excluded. In case of presumptive taxation, the rate under 44 AD will be dash for cash. Cash के लिए है 8 and dash for receipt through allowable modes then 6. तो पहला blank में 8 आएगा, second blank में 6 आएगा, which is given in 265. Shakshi LLP total turnover of 160 lakh in 21-22. Out of 160, 10 is received by account paycheck and 40 is received by cash. Income taxable as per presumptive under 44 AD. कोई को बोलेगा sir, this you apply 8, this you apply gadeda. 44 AD not available to LLP. Where assessee declares profit as per 44 AD and does not declare profit as per section for next 5 years, he shall not be eligible to claim 44 AD for how many years? If you take once, you have to take for 5 years, and in between you leave, then it will not be available for 5 years. 44 ADA is applicable to which of the following? Till last year it was any resident, but now it is only resident individual and resident firm. So these two not allowed, non-resident not allowed. Resident individual and firm, उसमें भी बोल दिया not being LLP, not being LLP. 44 ADA is applicable to assessee whose receipts do not exceed, of course, 50 lakh rupees. Presumptive rate under ADA would be a sum equal to AD के लिए 6 and 8 है. ADA के लिए what is the presumptive? 50%. In 2021, Surajpal opted for presumptive under 44 ADA. In 21-22, he claimed that his profits are lower than deemed to be his income under 44 ADA. Total income chargeable to tax in 21-22 is 2,10,000. Whether audit is going to be required. If 44 AD person leaves, then he will not be allowed for 5 years and audit will be required. But this is 44 AD, sorry, this is 44 ADA. Whether audit will be required? No. State whether true or false. Eligible assessee opting for presumptive taxation scheme will not be required to maintain. Obviously, then what is the sense of presumptive? Correct. Presumptive income to be calculated 44A for heavy goods. Heavy goods का क्या है? 1000 per ton per month or part. 1000 per ton per month or part. Once income is computed under 44 AD against income so computed, assessee is allowed to adjust. Brought forward UAD? No. 30 to 43B not allowed. But brought forward business loss will be allowed. So brought forward business loss is allowed to be adjusted. 44A presumptive scheme is available to persons owning not more than 10 goods carriages. Presumptive taxation scheme is available to which of the following? Turnover up to 200 lakhs, 44 AD. Profession and 50 lakh, ADA. Plying goods carriages, that means all of the above. Cooperative bank, A cooperative bank amalgamated with B cooperative bank on 1/2/22. Depreciation for the year is 450. What will be the depreciation for A cooperative bank? That means we have to apportion the depreciation in the ratio of number of days. Very easy. 450 is total depreciation. New was created on 1st February. What was the date of amalgamation? 1st February. So February ka 28 and March ka 31. 59 days new company, and that means old company will be taking depreciation from 365 minus 59. See, 59 ka days new wala will get. They are asking us old wale ke liye depreciation. New wala ka they will ask. If they will ask, then we will do new wale ke liye 450 into 59 upon 365. But old wale ke liye if they will ask, then 450 into 365 minus 59 upon 365. You will get 377 260. 377 260 is going to be your answer. Heavy goods vehicle for 44 AE means goods carriages where the vehicle weight is exceeding kitna? 12,000 kgs. 12 tons, 12,000 kgs. A Limited is engaged in the business of growing and curing coffee. Total income is 1 crore 10 lakh. Assuming turnover 2 years ago exceeded 400 crore and assessee has claimed additional depreciation, what will be the tax payable? देखो, claimed additional depreciation मतलब old regime. And turnover exceeded 400 matlab 30%. All the hints are given. Hints are given. So this assessee will fall in 30%. Old regime 30%. अब कोई बच्चा इसके ऊपर 30% लगाया ना, 1 crore 10 lakh 30%. फिर सेस भी लगाएगा 7% because more than 1 crore. Some people will go wrong in that also. But the truth is, in growing and curing coffee, this profit cannot be your taxable profit. Your taxable profit first 1 crore 10 lakh mein taxable will be only 25% because 75% will be agriculture. If it is grown and cured, then it will be 75% agriculture. If it was roasting, grounding, mixing of flavors, then 60% will be agriculture. But here it is only grown and cured. So 75% agriculture, only 2750 is taxable, and 2750 is less than 1 crore. So 30% plus 4%. The only correct answer, 30% and 4%. The only correct answer will be 8.58 lakhs. 8.58. Income from agriculture, sale of tea shall be considered as how much? Income from sale of tea, kitna agriculture? In tea business, there is only one answer, 60% will be agriculture. Income from growing and manufacturing of rubber will be considered as business. Pucha. Here they ask agriculture to 60. Rubber mein business kitna hai? Rubber mein agriculture is 65, business will be 35. In case assessees engage in business of growing, roasting and grounding, matlab more business activities, then dash percent will be exempt. This time only 60 will be exempt and 40 will be taxable. 60 will be exempt and 40 will be taxable. State whether true or false. Assessee opting for 44 AD is not required to pay advance tax. Only last installment but required to. Which of the following penalty is not allowed under the head PGBP? Penalty for breach of law is not allowed, but breach of contract is normal business. They are asking not allowed. So penalty for breach of law will not be allowed. As per 43B, certain expenses are allowed only if payment is made. Payment includes deemed payment or conversion into a loan or nahi. You have to make actual payment, then only it will be allowed. Income from sale of tea grown and manufactured outside India. Kitna agriculture? Outside India, nothing can be agriculture. Agriculture activity can arise only if the income is earned in India. Advertisement expenditure debited to P&L 60,000 in cash to the son of director. Market value is only 51,000. What will be the allowable expenditure? Koi ko bolega, sir, allowed to the extent of market price of 51 allowed. No, mitro. If cash is paid more than 10,000, then it will be fully disallowed. BEF Limited is engaged in the manufacturing of shampoos. It received group free air ticket of 10 lakh provided by employer for reaching a certain volume of purchase. What will be the tax treatment of this 10 lakh? Whether you get profit in cash or kind, it will be PGBP. X Limited incurred expenditure of 150 on 1424 for acquisition of patent and copyright. What will be the treatment? They will fall in the intangible block, and intangible block ke hisab se 25% depreciation. WDV of block of plant and machinery 15% is 320. Second hand machinery costing 50,000 was acquired in September but put to use on 1st November. So listen, purchase during the year less than 180. Purchase during the year less than 180. So 50,000 ke upar half rate lagega. During Jan 22, a part of this block was sold. So we have opening plus purchase minus sale. Depreciation. Simple block ka calculation is asked. Opening 320. Purchase on this date but still used for less than 180 days. 50 and sale. So what is the qualifying amount? 170. If you calculate 320 plus 50 minus 2. इसमें से 50,000 पे we will get only half depreciation because less than 180 days. November है ना? And 120 पे full. But 50 पे half, 120 पे full. And thus our depreciation will be 21,750. Question 290. 21,750 is going to be your answer. Where a ship belonging to non-resident and is about to leave the port in India, dash of the freight payable whether in India or outside India for goods passengers mail ship from any port in India. If the journey is in India, then we take the turnover. What will be the deemed income? What is the percentage that will be applicable? Non-resident shipping business 7.5%. Bhumi Limited is engaged in the manufacture of textile. It shows profit of 700 lakhs after debiting crediting. Calling matlab this is a short PGBP sum that is asked to you. PGBP sum asked to you short mein. Debiting and crediting, that means you decide allowed, disallowed, accordingly decide add less, no effect in 700, then you will get your income. Are you samjha kya? Employer contribution to RPF 2 lakh which was remitted. Is it a paid amount? Allowed expense? Allowed and debited? No effect. Company had made provision of 10% of its debtors towards RDD. Debtors amounted to 200 lakhs. That means provision will be 20 lakhs, 10%. Is RDD allowed to textile? No, only in banking business. So can I say we will have to add back 20. Company had credited a subcontractor amount of 10 lakh on 31st March 21 towards repairing machinery component. The tax so deducted was remitted on 31st December 21. Most complicated of one. 31st March 21 matlab last year 2021 ko we paid a subcontractor 10 lakh. Last year we paid 10 lakh but we did not deduct TDS. Matlab last year 2021 mein 3 lakh. Why only 3 lakh? Why not 10 lakh? Because 30% will be disallowed. मतलब last year के computation में we added 2021 में we added 3 lakh, TDS not deducted, तो 30% disallowed last year, and this year we have paid, so whatever was disallowed last year will be allowed this year. Whatever was disallowed last year will be allowed this year, and obviously this cannot be credited or debited because it was already debited last year. So this we will have to minus. In other words, 700 plus 20 minus we will do 3 lakh, and accordingly we will get 717. Benefit of presumptive taxation under income tax would not be available to Akash, a non-resident, in respect of Indian income if he is engaged in C. Ships mein everyone is allowed, so this is not the answer. Aircraft mein everybody is allowed, but in the civil construction turnkey project, the last provision of presumptive taxation of non-resident, here they have mentioned only foreign company is eligible, and 44 AE is also allowed. So ships, aircraft and AE allowed. Civil construction turnkey project not allowed to Akash because he is individual. Beautiful Homes interior decorator proprietorship concern submitted the following details for 3 years immediately preceding. Gross receipt and income from profession is given, and total income is also given. 139, 202, 385. Comment upon the applicability of 44AA and Rule 6F. See, Rule 6F is applicable because you are interior decorator. Rule 6F is applicable. So whenever your turnover in the last 3 years, total, all the 3 years, total nahi matlab individually 3 years, but all the 3 years exceeds 1,50,000, then only books of accounts are to be maintained. Here, in this year, it did not exceed 1,50,000, and thus I may be covered as a profession in Rule 6F, but books of accounts will not be required to be maintained. Books of accounts not to be maintained. The assessee is required as per 44AA, you are falling in specified profession, but because your turnover does not exceed 1,50,000, because of that you will get the facility of non-maintenance of books of accounts. Zinc Limited owns the following assets on 1/4/21. So plant A and B, opening WDV is given to us. So total we will take obviously. On 10th June 2021, the company acquires plant C. So it's a new, so it's addition. 10th June, and company sells also the following assets. Plants A, B, C are sold. So they have given sale consideration of all the 3. Sale consideration is given. All the 3 assets are sold. Block ceases to exist. Determine the amount of depreciation. Depreciation to nahi hoga, I am sure. There will be only capital gain. And is it possible to avoid tax on capital gain? We will discuss everything. Let's make the block first. Opening WDV is 405 plus 195. 405 plus 195. 6 lakh rupees. Purchase khali ek hi plant kiya, only one plant of 20,000. So we add the purchases. Sales. All the 3 plants are sold. For A, we will take sales as 2 lakh minus 12 because the net sale is only 188. What's the net that I am getting? If there is any selling expense, then I will get only net 188. So 188 plus 372 plus this also the net amount. So what is the sales? This 2 lakh minus 12, 372, 85 minus 200. So the total sales is 644,800. Volume in the block, value in the block is 640, and if sales is 644,800, maximum 620. This is the presentation of block asset method. Qualifying amount 0, and thus depreciation will be 0. What is the depreciation? 0. And what will be the short term capital gain? The difference between selling price and cost price will become, cost price will be this total value in the block. So 644,800 minus 620, 24,800 is your capital gain. What is your capital gain? 24,800 will become your capital gain. And is it possible to avoid? There is a way. If here in the purchases I buy a new asset, if here in the purchases I buy a new asset of 24,800, if in the purchases I buy a new asset of 24,800, then this will become 0, not negative. Then the selling price, cost price will become same. So I will have an asset in the block, I should buy an asset of 24,800 and I can escape capital gain. Depreciation is nil, right? Short term capital gain is 24,800, not possible. It is possible. Buy a new asset of 24,800 and you will be able to save. Depreciation is 93, wrong. Depreciation is 0, we have understood. Depreciation nil, capital gain 24,800. Can avoid tax if it purchases another plant of this block, obviously, of 24,800 or more, and depreciation is not there. So that is obviously wrong only. So all you are required to do is, in this block, you just make an additional purchase. Mr. X took a loan from SBI on 31st March 2011 for 10 lakh. During 21-22, interest actually paid was 1 lakh. However, amount of interest unpaid of 2021 was 2 lakh. मतलब paid amount 1 lakh, unpaid amount 2 lakh. As Mr. X was making continuous default in making payment of interest, a restructuring arrangement was entered where unpaid interest was converted into a term loan. So, conversion of loan will not result in payment only when actual payment is made, which is shown separately from the original loan and no interest is charged. Converted interest is to be paid in 4 equal installments from 24. मतलब right now this 2 lakh you don't pay. Pay in 24 and 4 installments. So 50-50 ka 4 installments. X is of the view that in AY 2020 to 23 following deductions shall be allowed. See, original interest is going to be allowed because it is actually paid, and this converted 2 lakh will be allowed. No, only conversion is not eligible, payment is required. So 1 lakh will be allowed but 2 lakh not allowed. Total deduction 3 lakh allowed. Wrong answer. No deduction allowed, wrong. 1 lakh will be allowed. Partially correct. 1 lakh will be allowed. Proportionate amount of convert. There is no payment that you have done. Where is the question of proportionate amount allowed? 1 lakh will be allowed. 2 lakh will not be allowed. 1 lakh will be allowed. 2 lakh will not be allowed. 1 lakh will be allowed. 2 lakh will not be allowed. During the previous year 21-22, R and partners, a partnership firm purchased the following assets on 5/5/21. Machine for rupees 10 lakh. 5 lakh is paid in cash and balance through NEFT. That means cash wala not allowed, only 5 lakh will be allowed. B for 5 lakh, 2 lakh is paid through bearer check and balance not allowed. So 2 lakh not allowed, 3 lakh will be allowed. C for 8 lakh, 3 lakh paid through account pay check and balance cash. So this time they have given the allowed amount. So 5 plus 3 plus 3. And 7 lakh where the whole amount is transferred through RTGS. So 7 lakh when it is transferred through RTGS. So that is also going to be allowed. Transferred through RTGS. So that is also going to be allowed. For machine B, cash subsidy of 50,000 was received from government. Whenever government gives subsidy related to asset, that has to be subtracted from the cost of the asset. What will be the total cost? So this total 7 plus 3, 10 plus 8, 18 minus 50, 17 lakh 50,000 is going to be treated as the total cost of your asset. Jazz Limited purchase a plant for 50 lakh, depreciation rate 15%. Before commencement of commercial production, expense of 50,000 were incurred by Z for trial run. What will be the treatment? Any expense incurred before using the asset for the first time is going to be capitalized. X Limited, a company engaged in business of manufacturing, paid 2 lakh to IISc Bangalore, approved and notified institution for scientific research. It also incurred expenditure of capital expenditure of 12 lakh, including cost of land on in-house scientific research and development. What is the deduction? Quantum is 100%, but land not allowed. So 7 allowed and 2 allowed. 7 and 2 total allowed is going to be 9 lakh. X set up a manufacturing unit in Warangal in the state of Telangana on 1st June 21. Invested 30 crore in new plant and machinery on 1st June 21. 25 crore in plant and machinery on 1st 11, out of which 5 was second hand plant and machinery. What will be the depreciation? Matlab 30 new, 20 new, 5 second hand. What will be the depreciation? Obviously, they are testing you on normal, additional, everything. Opening WDV 0. Purchase 1st June ko new 30, 1st November new 20, 1st November second hand. This is the total 25, split kiya 55. Now we have to calculate normal and additional. हमको ये पता है normal will be allowed or full 55. Additional will be allowed only on the new machine. Additional will not be allowed on secondary. Okay. So normal will be allowed on 55, additional on 50. Normal on 55, additional 50. Again, bro, if this is November, no, so this will be restricted to half. So when we calculate normal depreciation, this is November. So 25 ka 15% ka half and 30 ka full 15%. When we calculate additional depreciation, 30 ke upar full 20%. 20. 5 is not eligible. So 20 ka half. So this is your 55 ka normal depreciation, 30 full 25 half, and this is your 50 ka additional depreciation, 30 full 20 half. Total depreciation deduction will be 14.375. Total depreciation that you will get will be 14.375. Y Limited purchased computers of 10 lakh in November and installed the same in office. The depreciation allowable under section 32 in respect of same. Computer ka depreciation rate is going to be 40%. So 10 lakh ka 40 will be 4 lakh, but purchased in November, तो आधा ही मिलेगा 2 lakh. ABC Limited, Indian company engaged in the manufacture of steel, which has incurred expenditure in advertisement of souvenir or political party. What is correct? Expenditure is allowed as deduction. Wrong. Not allowed while computing total income. Total income mein it is allowed. Business mein it is not allowed. Expenditure is not allowed as a deduction while computing business income, but it is allowable as a deduction from your gross total income. Rental income earned from business of letting out of properties is, if it is business of letting out of property, Supreme Court Chennai properties, then we will take it as profits and gains of business or profession only if major part, substantial part is letting out. Otherwise, it will be treated as house property. If PGBP is your main income substantial part, then it will be PGBP. Otherwise, it will be treated as house property. ABC Limited Indian company commenced business on 1/2/22, incurred preliminary expenses of 35. Yeah, actual expense during the period from 1/4/21 to 31st Jan 22. Cost of project is 5 crore. Following details: share capital 3 crore. Premium 50 lakh not included. Matlab this is testing you on the Supreme Court judgment of Berger Paints, not included. Debenture included, borrowing included. Okay, so 6 crore. Now see, 5 crore or 6 crore, cost of project or capital employed, whichever is higher, 6. But if you don't know the judgment of Supreme Court, then you will end up taking 6.5. You have to take 6 crore only. 6 crore only. So cost of project 5 crore, capital employed 6 crore only. इनमें से whichever is higher का 5%. 30 lakh compared with actual expense 35. So whichever is lower and उसका जब आप 1/5 करोगे, तो you will get your answer. 1/5 of that amount. 6 lakh will be your deduction. अगर आपने शेयर प्रीमियम ले लिया होता, तो you would have taken 6.5 का 5%, 30 to 50, and उसका 1/5 you would have given 6.5. C would have been your answer, but the correct answer is B. Delta Limited engaged in the growing and manufacturing of rubber in India, commenced operations in April, acquired plant and machinery second hand, मतलब खाली normal depreciation. Factory building and furniture at cost of 62, 37 and 8. So this is plant and machinery. This is building and furniture. Plant and machinery, building and furniture. Assuming that all assets were put to use for more than 180 days, what is depreciation? See, depreciation and written down value will be on the full cost. Only after doing all this, the net profit ke andar you get the benefit of agriculture and taxable ka split. Depreciation will be computed on the total. So 62 पे plant and machinery, so 15, and 37, 8 दोनों के ऊपर 10. 62 पे 15%. Building is the second asset, so be careful. Second is this 10%, and furniture is the third asset. So what is the WDV? This is plant and machinery for 52.7, second building 33.3, and third furniture 7.2. 52.7, 33.3 and 7.2. Here furniture ka column I have written pehle. Furniture is the third asset given in the question. Raman and associate had made payment of 2 lakh to contractor for carrying out labor work, but TDS not deducted. What will happen? 60,000 will be disallowed, plus 100% penalty will also get attracted. 2 lakh added back? No, only 30% is going to be added back. 60 added back, but no penalty. Wrong, penalty will come 100%. Penalty equal to the amount, right? But 2 lakh added back. No, 2 lakh nahi. 60 will be disallowed and 100% penalty. Penalty equal to the amount and 60,000 disallowed. That will be your answer. Which of the following individuals would be entitled to opt for presumptive taxation? Retailer having turnover of 2 crore allowed, equal to 2 crore allowed. CA having 92 lakh not allowed, more than 50 lakh not allowed. Wholesaler having 1.96 crore allowed. Doctor having receipt of 50 lakh allowed because equal to 50 is allowed. Individual owning 8 goods carriages on 1st April. Sold 2, मतलब 6 हो गया, and purchased 4. See, listen. बहुत पेन कर रहा है यार. Sold 2 and purchased 4. अगर पहले purchase किया होता ना, then disqualified, but first sold. So he has not crossed 10 at any time. So 1, 3, 4 and 5. 1, 3, 4 and 5. Akash took a building on rent and used rent for business use, incurred expenditure on capital nature. If you incur rent expense, that's revenue expense. But on that rented building, if you incur capital expense, uske liye you are allowed to take the depreciation deduction. Capital expenditure on rented asset allowed. PQ Limited company having 2 units. Unit P carrying on specified business of setting and operating warehousing facility for agriculture produce. And unit Q carries on business of setting and operating storage of edible oil, non-specified business. Unit P commenced operations on 1/4/20 and claimed deduction of 120 lakh in April on purchase of 2 buildings, 70 and 50. Capital expenditure. Unit P is doing specified business. Capital expenditure excluding land, goodwill, financial instrument will be allowed. So 2 buildings, 70 and 50, both were taken for operation of warehouse. Allowed hai, under 35 AD. However, in March 22, it transferred building of 70 lakh. मतलब this building is transferred to the unit Q. What will be the tax consequences? 1 साल के बाद आपने ट्रांसफर किया, मतलब the deduction taken minus the depreciation foregone will be taxable. Full deduction cannot be taxable. 70 के सामने you've lost depreciation. So you need to know the rate also. Building है, building का rate is 10%. So what is the depreciation foregone? 70 के ऊपर 7 lakh. That means in the unit P add back करेंगे only 63, not full 70. And this now will be taken as cost of. We are shifting to our business, so it will be treated as it's a depreciable asset for your second business only, and we shift, and whatever we are paying tax in the specified business, that will be cost of acquisition. So 70 will be income, no. 63 lakhs will be income. Cost of building will be 70, no. Cost of building will be 63. So the answer is going to be 309 ka answer D. Ship cargo, company based in Netherlands operating ships to and fro Cochin port, corrected freight of 85 lakh, demurrage charges of 5 lakh and handling charges 2 lakh. All this is going to be included. Goods shipped at Cochin port, any journey commencing in India, it will be taken. Expenses of course will be ignored. And respect of goods shipped at Netherlands, it received 50 lakh in India, means this total will also be taken. 85 plus 5 plus 2 and this 50 because payment is in India. Is total पे मित्रों tax पूछा. So some people will to think, sir, total is coming to 92 plus 50, sir, 142 is not there in the answer. अच्छा sir, sorry. 142 is the turnover. Shipping company का 7.5% होता है, तो 142 पे they apply 7.5%. Then say, sir, still answer is not matching. Gada, 7.5% is PGBP. Question is tax liability. How will you calculate? Shipping in India, you take everything. Outside India, लेकिन payment received in India, तो you will take. So turnover is 142. इस turnover पे you will apply 7.5%, तो आपको ये income मिलेगा. The taxable income is 1065. Now apply the tax rate. Gada, foreign company है, you have to apply 40%. Add 4% says 443,040. That's your only answer. Anything other than this is wrong. Mr. Ram Mohan, a non-resident, operates aircraft between Malaysia and Cochin. He received the following amounts while carrying on the business. 2 crore received in India. So, lega turnover mein. Received in India, journey in India. Received in India, journey in India. 1 crore received in India. Lega. 3 received in India. Lega. 0.5 received in Malaysia, but carriage of goods from Cochin. So, journey is in India. Lega. Malaysia from Malaysia. No. Malaysia from Malaysia. No. Malaysia on account of carriage of goods from Cochin. So, this also we will be taking. Total expenditure is irrelevant. What is going to be the PGBP? 2 plus 1, 3, 6, 6.5 and 7. 7 crore. And what is he operating? Aircraft. 7 crore ka 5% will be applicable, and that will give you the answer of 35 lakh. Mr. Shivansh started his contract work on 31st December 15 but was unable to complete it before 31st March 16. Unable to complete. From 1617 ICDS became applicable. See, from 1617 ICDS became applicable. Now, how will he recognize his contract revenue and cost? Listen, whatever contract had started before ICDS, they can continue in the enrollment. New contract, you have to follow the contract ka ICDS. Contract started but not completed, you can continue the regular method. Cabbage Private Limited has acquired new machinery of 8 lakh on 18th October 20, which was not put to use last year. मतलब last year ये asset आपने use नहीं किया. In 21-22, on 17th October 21, it was put to use. What will be the depreciation? In the current year, you've used for less than 180. Last year purchased but not used. So last year no depreciation. So full 8 lakh is still in the WDV. This year less than 180, but will we apply half rate? No, we will not apply half rate because purchase during the year, used for 180 days, less than 180 days, both have to happen in this year to apply half rate. So half rate will not apply. We will be applying full rate. 8 lakh के ऊपर 15% if you get 120. अब actually क्या है, new machine है तो we should calculate additional. But then additional is applicable only in the year of purchase and put to use. So this is the second year only. If half rate is applied, then the other half is going to be allowed. So norm, and anyways in the options highest is given 120. 8 lakh ka 15% you apply 120. Rate of depreciation for motor buses for running them on higher 30%. So some of the block rates you will have to learn. Gajar and company engaged in business of growing tea earned profit of 715 21 22 before taking deduction of 33 AB for which it is eligible. It has brought forward business loss of 250. It deposited 350 on 18 June 21. 18 June 21. Deduction under 33 AB will be what? 40% of profit or amount deposited, whichever is lower. 40% or amount deposited, and when we take 40%, it is before any set of carry forward. Profit before set of carry forward ka 40%. So 750 ka 40% karoge, so you will get 3 lakh or 350, whichever is lower. In this case, the deduction is going to be 3 lakh. Boat club is an association governed by provision of 44A of income tax. Subscription received from members is 2 lakh. Expenditure in course of activities 385. So, loss from activities 185. Other income is 275. So, business loss can be adjusted against other income, and accordingly, what is going to be the final taxable income? 90,000. Eureka purchased machinery of 35,000 from which Mini, an asset, was put to use more than 180 days. Paid 12,000 in cash, मतलब 35 पे depreciation नहीं मिलेगा, you will get depreciation only on 23,000 and rest is paid by account पे. वो भी cash होता तो fully disallowed. So 23 के ऊपर you will be getting depreciation. 23 के ऊपर when you will be calculating your deduction of depreciation at 15% on machinery, 23 का 15%, you will get your answer as 3450. Janu Private Limited is engaged in specified business 35 AD in income expenditure in 21-22. Goodwill not allowed. Furniture 60,000 allowed but purchased in cash, so this also not allowed. And 40,000 by bearer check, that is also not allowed. So 111 करके all three become disallowed, 0. Provision of section 44AB for audit of accounts of certain persons carrying on business or profession shall not apply to person who derives any kind of presumptive taxation, then audit not applicable. A Limited purchased plant of 30 lakh, depreciation 15% on 25-21 before commencement of commercial production. Expenses of 40,000 were incurred for trial run of the plant. What will be the treatment? Any expenditure incurred before using the asset for the first time, capitalized. Mr. A, who is tax consultant of X Private Limited, computing the income of business of the company, determining the tax liability. X Private Limited is not liable for tax audit while computing business income under normal provisions. A had duly considered the provisions of ICDS wherever applicable. However, A is confused regarding applicability of ICDS while computing. मतलब tax consultant है, but he is confused. That is the difference between CA and tax consultant. He is confused whether ICDS is applicable for MAT. ICDS is applicable for computation of income under PGBP and IFOS under normal provisions. ICDS में MAT provisions of ICDS will not apply in computation of big profit as they are only for regular provisions. So will apply is wrong, will apply is wrong, will not apply as it is not liable for tax audit. That's not the reason. Reason is it is not applicable. Whether tax audit is applicable or no. Not apply is right, but the reason given is wrong. A incorporation, B incorporation are incorporated in country A and country B respectively, whose place of effective management also in said countries are operation in the business of operation. अच्छा ये ship में है और ये aircraft में, मतलब can I say here we apply 7.5, here we apply 5%. But क्या क्या लेगा turnover में? Amount paid or payable in Mumbai. Once it is Mumbai, you will take it. Origin in India and money in India. Paid in country A or B or account of passengers or goods shipped from Mumbai. So journey is in India. It's the commencement of journey. Amount deemed to be received in India. So with this also we will take. Received in country A or B and shipping also from country A or airport in country A. So this will not be taken. Profit is irrelevant. What will be the profits and gains? So we will take 25 plus 7, 32 ka 7.5% and over here 19 and 27 ka 5%. 32 ka 7.5%. I think I have solved it. 32 ka 7.5% will give you 2.4 and 27 ka 5% will give you 1.35. 2.4 and 1.35 is given to you in option number C. 322 ka option C. And now comes the new question. These are the questions till now that I have solved were the questions which were already there in the last year's book also. Now come all the new case studies that have been introduced by ICAI in the case study digest. एक in depth point के ऊपर they have tested. I already told you this is going to be a very important class for you. Answer 3, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 5 questions. Following details 4 resident, all are resident. AB, LM, PQ, XY. 4 companies. 4 organization, entities. AB and company is a firm. LM and company is a firm. PQ and company is LLP. And this is also firm. So 3 firms and that one is LLP. AB, LM, XY firm and PQ is LLP. Business, retail trading, goods carriages, matlab transporter, wholesale trading and interior decoration. Means this is a 44 AD case, this is a 44 AD case, but not applicable because it is LLP. Means PQ and company not applicable in LLP hai, to 44 AD, ADA both not available. वैसे wholesale trading goes under AD but not available because LLP. This is 44 AD, this is AE, This is ADA if other conditions like turnover का condition, number of trucks का condition fulfill. System mercantile cash, ठीक है. Transporter and interior decorator are doing cash. Wholesaler and retailer are doing mercantile. Amounts received total turnover 2 crore. अच्छा मतलब turnover का criteria also fulfilled. 101 in the transporter, turnover is irrelevant. We have to see number of trucks. 100. This is so not eligible only because it is LLP. 50. Now they are testing whether you know exact 2 crore and exact 50 lakh is also eligible for presumptive taxation. Up to 2 crore, up to 50. Amount received by way of RTGS, NEFT. See, the separation of cash receipt and other receipt is relevant only for 44 AD because 6 and 8. In AE, it is on number of trucks. So this data is irrelevant here. Here to not eligible only, we have already decided because it is LLP. LLP is not eligible for presumptive taxation. And here also it is directly 50%. So this data is irrelevant. Okay. But here it is relevant. Amount received. So this 150 will go in 6%. Then amount received by way of cash. This will go in 8%. Here also this is not irrelevant. This is only for deciding 6 or 8. So only relevant for the first assessment. And RTGS received up to the due date of return filing. So this will also go in 6%. Matlab 150 and 20, 170 will go in 6%, 30 will go in 8%, but for the remaining 3 entities, this data is not relevant. Working partners, they are all firms, no? So they are giving you working partner salary for all the 4 cases and interest, which is within the limit of 12%. Means there is interest and remuneration. Firms hai 40B. Listen, if they follow presumptive, jaise AB, 44 AD, then 40B not allowed. XY, if it follows 40B, see, we don't know whether it will take presumptive. If AB will take 44 AD, then this deduction of 40B not allowed. XY will take 44 AD, not allowed. PQ is not eligible to take presumptive, then it will take 40B deduction. And the transporter ke section mein one exception is notified that business ka deductions will not be done, but 40B will be done. Means these deductions of remuneration and interest to partners for LM and PQ will be possible. We'll see. Profit as per accounts is given. Okay, that is as per books of account because this data can be used for presumptive. Books of accounts is given. And number of vehicles owned 10. This is possible only for the transporter. 10 for which they have given you detail working. First of all 10, matlab this has also fulfilled the criteria of 44A. So fulfilling 44 AD, fulfilling AE, fulfilling ADA but LLP not eligible. Correct or no? It may be assumed that partner salary and interest are authorized by the deed. Matlab okay, they are allowed and it relates to the period after the deed. Okay, and within the limit. In other words, if you give 40B deduction, this is your answer to the deduction. If you give, you may decide, see in presumptive 44 AD, ADA it is not allowed. AE it is allowed. If you give, it is within the limit. And details of truck is given. All these trucks ka weight is up to 12,000. They are light trucks. 7,500 ka calculation. And this is a heavy truck, then 1,000 per ton. So 13 tons, monthly income will be. This is monthly income, 7,500, monthly income, 13,000. Number of trucks is given, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And of course, therefore, and already they have told you 10 trucks here. Date of purchase, date of use. One more in-depth point tested. For transporter, income will be calculated on ownership, not on usage. This is given only to entertain or rather to confuse you. Date of purchase is relevant. In that also part will be rounded off. So if it is May, so May ka 28, 29, 30, 31, that will be rounded off. And from June to March full, so 11 months. July ka 1 day rounded off. And then we will take from August all the months. From August all the months. So total April, May, June will be excluded. July onwards all the months will be taken. Here August will be taken, August to March. September will be taken. November will be taken. December will be taken. So accordingly you will decide the number of months. From the above details, choose the most appropriate. And actually case study may know you can actually first read the questions. It's a risky trick, but you can use it. Which of the 4 entities are eligible to declare income on presumptive basis? We already discussed it. This is definitely not eligible because it is LLP. This is eligible. Why? Because turnover up to 50 lakh. So XY eligible. This is eligible because 10 carriages. And this is eligible because exact 2 crore also. So AB, LM and XY. AB, LM and XY. AB, LM and XY. किधर दिया है? Option D. What is the business income to be declared by AB and PQ assuming that they want to make maximum tax savings without audit? Without audit एक ही option है, एक ही option है presumptive. But do we know PQ is not eligible for presumptive? तो PQ को तो अपना actual profit ही दिखाना पड़ेगा. PQ is not eligible. See, I have solved actually this also. A and B eligible because turnover up to 2 crore. LM eligible क्योंकि 10 carriage. PQ not eligible because LLP. XY eligible because up to 50 lakhs. So पहले क्वेश्चन का आंसर AB, LM and XY. PQ not eligible we have decided. तो PQ has to take actual income only. PQ का तो income we have to take actual. Presumptive allowed ही नहीं है तो 4.5 will be income. तो PQ का 4.5 है. चेक करोगे तो ऑप्शन B and D is already cancelled. Now all you are required to do is AB and company के लिए without audit में see audit कराया तो presumptive नहीं लगेगा. Audit नहीं कराया तो presumptive. And without audited मतलब your only option is presumptive. कैसे होगा? We have decided that also. 170 का 6% and 30 का 8%. So AB it will go in 44 AD. 170 का 6%, 30 का 8%. That will be 12.6 and PQ no audit. So actual because presumptive not allowed. No audit तो actual and presumptive is not allowed तो actual लेना पड़ेगा. So 12.6 and 4.5 which is given to you in option A. What is the business income to be declared by LM and company assuming that it wishes to make maximum savings without audit? LM मतलब अपना transporter, without audit मतलब 44 AE presumptive देगा मतलब LM has the option C. जैसे for example अभी AB के लिए we took 12.6 as the answer लेकिन audit करवाएगा तो it can offer 5.6 no. Only PQ does not have an option. PQ has only one option. For the other three जैसे AB actual is 5.6. Likewise for the transporter we will see presumptive, it can also have actual. For the interior decorator we will see presumptive, it can also have actual. Are you correct or no? But here they are asking without audit. Now without audit there is only one option, presumptive. So we will have to calculate. First of all, date of purchase is relevant, so I put down the dates from here only, from this table only. May, July, August, September, November, December. May, July, August, September, November, December. So 11 months. Only April is excluded. April, May, June excluded. April, May, June, July excluded. Up to August excluded. One day also you have to take. ऐसे months होगा. Trucks तो easy है. These trucks will be taxed at the income will be calculated as 7,500 because they are light trucks, and ये last वाला will be calculated at 13,000 because it is a heavy truck. The heavy truck का we will do calculation at 13,000. Heavy truck का calculation will be done at, hang हो गया रे laptop. It also gets tired. It is not a tax professor. 13,000. Okay. So this will be your light trucks का, this will be heavy trucks का 636,500. But transporter में 40B is allowed. इतना deep में जाके they are testing. Transporter में 40B is going to be allowed, and therefore वो 2 lakh. 2 lakh कैसे आया? 1.5 plus 0.5. So 636,500 में से take 2 lakh and 436,500 is going to be your answer. 436,500. One point you may see. Once I tell you which point is applicable, it will click to you. Actually, I don't have to explain the solutions that I have done. I have to only remind you which, if you want to solve on your own, you will not be able to do. You'll never get you'll say, sir, answer is not coming, not coming. I am here to teach you which step you have missed. Understood? What is the income to be declared as XY, assuming that the firm wishes to make maximum savings without audit? XY कौन था बे? अच्छा, इंटीरियर डेकोरेटर विदाउट ऑडिट 44 AD है, और 44 AD है मतलब 50 लाख का 50%. 50 lakh ka, see, in case studies, some of them will be easy. It will get over in 1 second. So it will be, what will be your answer? 25 lakh. Would your answer to subpart 3 and 4? 3 and 4 matlab in this case study subpart 3 and 4. In my numbering, they are in PGBP numbering. If the firm decides to get their books audited, audit karvaega, so then they can take actual also, no? Let's see. Presumptive is coming to 436 and 25. Without audit. Actual kitna hai? 4 point, for the transporter 4.1. So less than presumptive. So better to get books audited. And iska bhi 20. That means both of them, actual profit is lower than presumptive. So better to get audited. Yes, there would be a change in both the subparts. 327 will be, yes, there will be a change in both. Is that understood? Very good. Next case study, 328, 29, 30, 31, 32. Heavy scene hai bro. Heavy scene. Bouncer jane wala. Let's see. फॉलोइंग आर पर्टिकुलर्स रिलेटेड टू 4 इंडियन कंपनीज A, B, C and D. मतलब first year they are giving you data in the top table of A and B, and then they are giving you data of C and D. What is given? A and B का date of setting up 1st September 19, 1st November 21. Turnover of 1920. See, if it's old company, then only turnover of past year can be given. No, this is set up in the current year. So 2 years ago, this company was not there only. This company is set up in the current year. तो इसका turnover दिया है 500 crore. In case it goes in old regime, तो 30% tax लगेगा. Because more than 400. If it was in new regime, तो फिर तो not relevant. Old regime में 30%. Main object, manufacture of steel and apparel. Apparel किधर तो देखा है income tax में. Place, Madhya Pradesh and Telangana. No problem. Value of new plant and machinery installed and put to use on the date of setting up the company. So, new plant and machinery 4 crore installed on 1st November on the date of setting up the company. So, 1st November 21, and obviously this is a 2-year-old company. So, iska current year mein we will take 1st September 21. Question is telling you that this machinery was installed on 1st September 21 in the current year, and this was taken on 1st November, which is the date of setting up the company. Gross total income is given. Gross total income मतलब heads of income और वो सब 4.9, 2.8. Particulars of new employees. अच्छा, new employees मतलब 80JJAA और 80JJAA मतलब there will be a difference in this business and this business. Steel business normal 80JJAA तो फिर 240 days. Apparel business में employees eligible if they work for 150 days. Number of employees 1000. 500 employees are getting 24,000 का पकड़. So of course we will take 500 into 24,000, and these are monthly emoluments. So into the number of months and then 30% eligible, and these 500 of course disqualified because more than the allowable limit of 80JJAA. ठीक है. And C and D का data is given. These two are very old companies, 2000, 2005. दोनों trader है. Leather goods and food grains. तमिलनाडु, कर्नाटका. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years का turnover is given. Though you should know that we are interested only in this turnover. Because old regime में we are interested only in this turnover. So इसके लिए we will apply 30% and इसके लिए we will apply 25%. 400 crore is the threshold. Details of income is given. As per return filed, as per intimation, as per assessment. As per return filed is always going to be irrelevant. We will only be interested in as per intimation and as per assessment. From the above details, choose the most appropriate answer. What would be the tax liability of B Limited? मतलब इसका पूछ रहा है B Limited. If it avails the beneficial tax rate under the special provision inserted by the Taxation Law Amendment Act 2019. Taxation Law Amendment Act 2019. For those of you all who want to know, इसका मतलब new regime. Taxation Law Amendment Act 2019 was new regime. If it is availing the new regime by fulfilling the condition and assume that the GTI reflects computation under special provision. मतलब GTI दिया है ना, tax आपको करने का बोला. They are asking you to do tax. GTI they have given you 2.8 and apply the new regime बोला. New regime बोला ना, new regime. So what is the option? 115 BAA or BAB? You check पहले BAA or BAB. Preferably we will go in BAB. So incorporated on or after 1st October 19, yes. Commenced manufacturing, yes. All conditions fulfilled. So ये manufacturer है, eligible for 115 BAB. तो apply income के ऊपर, you will apply income के ऊपर 15 plus 10 plus 4 compulsory surcharge 17.16 BAB. This is the income given. But ये तो GTI है. Assume that the GTI is computed as per special provisions. तो GTI पे ना वैसे भी in new regime तो chapter 6 से is not allowed, no? 80JJAA is allowed. 80JJAA new employees का allowed है. तो it has recruited new employees allowed है. लेकिन it has recruited only from November, no? So November, December, Jan, Feb, March. 150 days नहीं, ये 240 days नहीं हो रहा है. No problem. Apparel requires 150 days. कितना mistakes होने का chance है? Let me show you. Calculation of tax liability. B Limited will go in 115 BAB. GTI is computed 2 crore 80 lakhs. 80JJAA है जो employees का 26,000 का salary that we have already disqualified here. disqualified. The employees who have 24,000 salary, 500 employees, 24 सबसे पहले तो bro 5 महीना, November, December, Jan, Feb, March. If you take 12 months, गया तुम गया काम से. 5 months. If but 5 months, that means the number of days of Y80 double J not fulfilled. No problem. Apparel business में 150 days का requirement है. इसका 30% करोगे, you will get 1 crore 80 lakhs. और इस 1 crore के ऊपर you apply 17.16, you will get 17 lakh 16,000 as your tax liability. If answer लेके आना is your objective, then this is your answer. But मित्रों सुनो, first testing that it is a case of BAB. Why? Because manufacturer fulfilling the condition. So 17.16 लगेगा. Second, even if new regime, 80 double J double A will be allowed. Third, 26,000 की salary not allowed. Fourth, 24 वाला allowed but only 5 months. Fifth, तो 150 days का condition applicable. 240 वाला case होता तो this also would have become 0. इतना test करके you get your right answer. One mistake you make and you are gone. What would be tax liability of A Limited if it avails the beneficial tax rates inserted by the taxation law amendment? मतलब A Limited also wants to go in new regime. लेकिन new में कौन सा? A Limited is incorporated on 1st September 19. The moment you incorporate 1st September, that means old. You are an existing company. Existing company, even if you are a manufacturer. You can't take BAB. BAB is for new companies. 1st October 19. 1st October 19. Existing company cannot take it. And thus the only possibility now for A Limited will be to go in 115 BAA. Because that's the only allowable. New regime is allowed. But for 115 BAB, company should be incorporated from 1st October 19. So 115 BAA will be applicable. Okay. Conditions are fulfilled. And GTI reflects computation under special provision. अब तो वैसे भी चैप्टर 6 से नहीं मिलता ना, मिलता है 80 double J double A is allowed. Okay. तो BAA का केस GTI given to us is 4 crore 90. 80 double J double A. Those employees which are getting 25,100, have we already disqualified those employees? का salary for 80 double J double A? So 0. But those employees which are getting 24, इसका लो ना, sir इसका लो ना, मित्रों नहीं. Employees were employed in September. हाँ तो सर इससे तो ज्यादा number of days है. No मित्रों, here the requirement is 240 and September से March मतलब employees have worked only for 212. Here it was 150. Here it is 212. So these employees also not eligible. 4.9 crore and directly 25.168, 123, 32, 320 will be your answer. Tax liability 123, 32, 320. What would be the tax liability of A Limited and B Limited if they do not opt for special provisions? मतलब now they want to go for the old regime. Assume that the GTI reflects computation under special provision. GTI special वाला है. GTI कौन सा वाला है? Special वाला है. You have to compute it as per old regime and you have computed as per new. मतलब there are some deductions which you have not taken. You can take because now they want to go in old regime. और old regime में tax rate क्या लगेगा? इसके लिए 30% will be applicable. Surcharge we will see on the basis of total income. Cess will come. This company was not there 2 years ago. If this company was not there 2 years ago, then ideally it should be 25, but in suggested answers, Institute is following 30%. Institute is saying that 25 is allowed only if the company was existing at that time. If the company was existing and turnover was up to 400 crore. Existing company turnover up to 400 crore. Then only 25 will be allowed, otherwise 30 is going to be applicable. So both will have 30, but पहले income तो करो. The income given to you here is as per special. So any deduction not taken, take that deduction. This income is as per special 490 to 80. सबसे पहले you will take your additional depreciation. They are manufacturers. Manufacturers. They have acquired new machinery. 10 crore का and 4 crore का. You will take your additional depreciation first. पहले आपको क्या लेना होगा? Additional. Sir, in that new regime we did not take. And this GTI is as per new. But in old we are shifting, so we are allowed, no? So that additional depreciation which we have not calculated for this GTI, we will take that additional. And of course, 80 double J double A का कोई twist नहीं है because that is allowed in new regime also. So 80 double J double A, which we also know already computed. A is not getting, only B is getting. We have already computed also in one of the previous questions. But additional depreciation you will have to take. This 10 crore का 20% bro because it is September. September में acquire किया है. लेकिन this 4 crore का half, मतलब half rate भी test हुआ. So either 2 crore, either 40 lakh. And 80 double J double A already calculate कर दिया. A will not get, B will get. So we get our NTTI 2.9 and 60. Basic tax I already told you 30. इसका turnover is given and new company है तो turnover नहीं था तो we have to take 30 as per institute. Here there will be surcharge. ये भी test हुआ because more than 1 crore 7%. But here 60 lakh no surcharge. ये 50 lakh के बाद 10% company को नहीं. 4% says 96, 81, 360 and 1872. 96, 81, 360 and 1872. That's your only answer. क्या टेस्टिंग किया ब्रो, क्या टेस्टिंग किया. What would be the quantum of penalty C? So finally they are asking you questions on C and D also. Under 270, of course question देख के समझ गया था 270. Assume that it is not due to misreporting, मतलब 50% करेगा. And C Limited has not opted for new regime, मतलब old regime का टैक्स करो, old regime का टैक्स करो और पेनल्टी फाइंड आउट करो 50 के हिसाब से. तो C ने income shown is 16 but actual is 20, shown is 16, actual is 20, correct or no? तो what is the under reported income 4 crore, under reported tax करेंगे. old regime है so we will apply 30%. old regime बोला ना 30 no and turnover 2 years ago 499 है तो C Limited के लिए तो we will apply 30 no. what is the rate of tax? old regime में 30 because turnover exceeded 400 crore. लेकिन 30 के बाद क्या सर, सरचार्ज मेरे को मालूम है सर. 7 नहीं, if it crosses 10 crore then 12% surcharge. So 30 plus 12 plus 4, 30 plus 12 plus 4, this will be your assessed tax, this will be your intimation का tax, this difference is your under reported tax और इसका half. सर half क्यों? इसका half इसलिए because it is a case of under reporting. half है 69, 88, 800. What would be the penalty of D Limited assuming that the under reporting is due to misreporting? तो इसका 200 and not opted मतलब old regime. old regime में अभी इधर का twist देखो, old regime में इसका 25%, remaining calculation is same but basic tax इसका 30 है, इसका 25 है. old regime find out under reported tax और उसका double होगा because this time it is misreporting. तो find out the tax 20 crore and 22 crore. That's the under reported income. We have decided basic 25 है क्योंकि turnover up to 400 crore old regime. Add surcharge again 12% होगा क्योंकि 10 crore cross किया. So 25 plus 12 plus 4, 25 plus 12 plus 4. This is the assessed tax. This is the intimation tax. This is your under reported tax and this time we will take double 1 crore 16 48,000. 116 48,000. That is going to be your answer for D Limited. हैवी सीन है ना ब्रो, हैवी सीन है. मजा आ गया, मजा आ गया. वेलकम टू पीजीबीपी का केस स्टडीज दोज हु आर फाइंडिंग. क्या सर इजी इजी क्वेश्चन तुम करा रहे हैं, मजा आया. TPS, a partnership firm engaged in trading business of electrical appliances, turnover is 1 crore 10 lakh and it has received the following amounts with the turnover. 70 lakh is in account pay check, उसमें से 5 lakh received next year but before due date तो eligible है. अगर in case 6% लगा, 10 lakh cash 8% मतलब लिखते जाता हूँ 6% 8%. 15 lakh cross check not cross check will be treated as cash 8%. 10 lakh RTGS, 2 lakh received still before the due date चलेगा and 5 lakh is not received till the due date, that will also go in 8%. So 70 plus 10 80, 80 plus 15 95, 10 105 110 tally हो गया. इसमें से 10 15 and 5 that means 30 lakh will go in 8% and 80 lakh will go in 6%. What would be the total income if it wishes to make tax savings without getting its books of account audit? Presumptive taxation बोल रहा है 80 का 6%, 30 का 8%, 7.2 is going to be your answer. Very easy and basic after doing the ऊपर वाला question. Net result of business carried out by a branch of foreign company was a loss of 200 lakh after head office of 400. Means head office has charged expense. So before head office expense कितना है? See imagine कीजिए 200 का profit है, profit 200 है, head office expense 400 charge करके we convert it into a loss. Head office expense के लिए there is a rule that it will be maximum allowed as 5%. Maximum allowed will be 5%. मतलब 400 or 5% of your profit. That means only 10 will be allowed and 190 will be taxable. 190 is going to be taxable. XYZ Limited incurred expenditure of 1.5 lakh for acquisition of patents and copyright. Patent and copyright intangible asset तो आपको depreciation. Turkish Airlines operated flights to India and vice versa during 21-22 collected charges of 150 for carriage of passengers and cargo, out of which 70 lakh were received in Turkey. So 150 में से 70 चला गया because received in Turkey for fare book from, so received also in Turkey, origin also Turkey. Expenses are irrelevant. What will be income? 80 lakh बचेगा. 80 lakh के ऊपर aircraft है, 80 lakh के ऊपर you apply 5%, so you will get 4 lakh as your answer. Kirti Limited is engaged in the business of manufacturing of fertilizer, got fertilizer bond in lieu of government subsidy for 3 lakh, and during the year it sold these bonds at a loss of 50,000. What would be the tax implication? This is strictly a case law based question. Government wants to give you subsidy. Government does not have money, so they give you bonds instead of subsidy. Okay? और वो अगर bonds आपने sell किया, तो what will be that loss be treated? अगर profit होता तो it would have been treated as PGBP income because government is giving this subsidy as a part of business. So court said if profit was treated as business income, then the loss will be treated as allowable loss. This is a case law based judgment. Those full course and crash course students who will be attending the case law class will be getting this explanation. Case law lecture is not put on YouTube. It is given only to full course and crash course students. Mr. Akash is engaged in the business of running motor cars on hire and his brother Vikas is a dentist. Akash and Vikas each purchased a motor car of 5 lakh on 1/11/20 last year purchase किया bro, pay attention. And also let me tell you, motor car on hire मतलब आकाश का depreciation 30 है and Vikas का depreciation will be 15. Hire वाला business then 30, otherwise 15, and purchased last year 2021. The written down value on 1/4/20 may be taken, means last year 2021 का 50 lakh is WDV for Akash and nil for Vikas. So 2021 का opening WDV is given, purchase is given. What is the depreciation allowable this year? Means you have to do 2021 and you have to come to this year. They have not opted for 115 BAC. First you will have to do calculation for ये 4 lakh किया हुआ, ठीक है, that is done. First you will calculate last year का depreciation. Opening WDV 50 and 0. Purchases on 1st November 5 lakh and 5 lakh. So what is the qualifying amount for last year? This is 2021. They are asking you एक year पहले का 2021 55 and 5 last year का depreciation. ये November है मित्रों, तो half rate रहेगा. So here it will be 5 lakh का 30%. Why? Because Akash is in running of higher. 30 का half this and 50 lakh का full. 50 का full, 5 का half. And here it will be 5 lakh का 15% का half because he is a dentist, so 15. ये motor car on hire, so 30, ये 15. That we discuss. This will go in full rate, this will go in half rate, this will go in half rate. So 5 lakh का 15 का half, 50 lakh का 30 full and 5 lakh का 30 this. This will give us closing WDV of 2021 जो 21-22 के लिए opening WDV बनेगा, current year का opening WDV. और इस opening WDV पे for Akash it will be 30% and for Vikas it will be 15% because he is in hire and he is a dentist. So ये पहले you have to find out this and इसके ऊपर you have to apply the rate. 1177 500 for Akash and 69 375 for Vikas, accordingly giving C as our answer. Turnover of Mr. Arav engaged in wholesale trading business is 2 crore and gross receipts of Vishal in legal profession is 50. मतलब both in their respective profession are eligible for presumptive. ये 44 AD and ये ADA. Arav has been regularly following mercantile and Vishal regularly follows cash. Out of turnover of Arav, he receives 1.2 crore through ECS. मतलब 6% ECS. Another 60 lakh through ECS before the due date. मतलब this will also be 6. मतलब कहना इसे 180 मिल गया. मतलब 20 lakh will be at 8% and 180 will be at 6%. Vishal receive, Vishal का irrelevant. It will always be 50%. What will be the income under PGBP? If they want to minimize the tax liability, they maintain books of accounts. Income computed as per regular provisions is 1150 and 2475 in the hands of Arav and Vishal. They have not got books of accounts audited. देखो एक बात तो आपको बता दूं that Arav is having 2 crore का turnover, Vishal is having 50 lakh. For profession, the limit of presumptive and the limit of audit both is 50 lakh. So he is not required audit. Audit is not required. He has maintained books. If he goes for presumptive, then his answer will be 25 lakh, and if he goes for normal provisions, then it will be 2475. So 25 as per presumptive and 2475 as per actual. He has not got it audited, but is presumptive compulsory? No, presumptive is optional. 50 lakh के ऊपर he can take 50%, 50 lakh का 50% he can take, मित्रों 50 lakh का 50% he can take, and he can take इसका 6%, 180 का 6% and 20 lakh which is maybe in cash or not received उसका 8%. So 180 का 6%, 20 lakh का 8%, 12 lakh 40 and 25 lakh respectively. They have not got their books of accounts audited and they do not intend to do so in the future. Is that clear? So 12 lakh 40 and 25 lakh respectively is going to be your answer. 12, 40 and 25 lakh respectively. On the basis of the given facts, answer 3, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. So again a case study. Cooperative bank provides the following information relating to cash withdrawals by two customers. Mr. A का saving account, B का current account. 20 plus 25, 45, 45 plus 35, 80. So total is 1 crore 5. Of course a case of TDS. 22 plus 5, 27, 27 and 37 and 38. 27 plus 37 plus 38. That's 102. This is also more than 1. Both will be liable for TDS. B has not filed return of income for the last 3 years. मतलब B के लिए क्या होएगा? After 20 lakh only it will start. So 20 lakh से 1 crore तक. Up to 1 crore we will apply 2% and 2 lakh के ऊपर we will apply 5%. A has regularly filed. तो A के लिए we will only apply 105 का 2%. No other customer had withdrawn more than 10 lakh. मतलब these are the only 2 cases where bank will deduct 194 NT. One of the customers of the cooperative bank, Mr. K, paid 12 lakh out of bills of 15 lakh raised in respect of credit card by account paycheck and was declared bankrupt thereafter. मतलब 15 लाख में से he has paid 12 lakh का bill, then he was declared bankrupt. 15 lakh का promise nobody is making, nobody is fulfilling only that promise of 15. Whoever promises 15 lakh does not fulfill that promise. Actual bad debts of the bank, including bad debts on account of K, मतलब including this 3 lakh, were 30 lakh. So what is the total bad debts of the bank? 30 lakh. The aggregate advances made by rural branches are 120 and the gross total income before any deduction is 100. मतलब इसका 8.5 and इसका 10. 8.5 and इसका 10% will be 12. That's 20.5 will become your RDD. A notice was issued to the cooperative bank on 30th September 22 by the prescribed income tax authority to furnish SOFT by 30th October. मतलब June, July, August, September, 30th October तक we will apply 500 per day. And the bank failed to do so. It they furnish on 25th November. So 31st October पर 25 days in November. Observe carefully. 30th October. मतलब October का भी 31st plus November का 25. 26 days will be at 1000 rupees. From the given information, choose the most appropriate answer. TDS that has to be deducted of A and B. We have already done A and B का. A का 105 का 2%, 2.1. B का 20 lakh के बाद 100 तक. Institute in that suggested answer is doing slabs. 100 तक it will be 2% and excess का it will be 5%. So वो दोनों के लिए it is going to be 2.1, 2.1 respectively. So it is going to be 2.1, 2.1 respectively. Assume that the cooperative bank commenced operations on 1/4/21. The cooperative bank can, what can they do? They can claim deduction of actual bad debts and RDD. देखो RDD का rule क्या होएगा? 8.5% of rural advances, that is 100 का 8.5 and इसका 10%. So total is 20.5. मतलब RDD allowed is 20.5. Now that's our actual bad debts of 20 lakh. Actual bad debt of 30 lakh. 30 lakh is our actual bad debt. Now please pay attention. 30 lakh is the total including this K wala bad debt. 30 lakh is the total. The rule is that RDD ka provision we make on the basis of an estimate. So when we made estimate, we already took 20.5. And then when our debtors actually became bad, we have already taken 20.5. Total bad debts is 30. Usme se we have already taken 20.5. That means now extra deduction we can give you only 9.5. Actual bad debts is 30. RDD is only a provision, but we allow when it actually becomes bad. Whatever is allowed in RDD, that you adjust and the balance you will be taking here. So in this you can take bad debts ka deduction only of 950 because 2050 RDD ka deduction already you are taking. RDD is 8.5 into 110% of 120, 20.5. Bad debts are 30, but in that in RDD you have already taken 20.5. So now you can take bad debts only of the extra, and that will give you your answer as C. Identify the accounts which are required to be reported in relation to specified statement of financial transaction and reportable account. What are the accounts that the bank has to report? See, in case of K, because credit card bills are exceeding the threshold, this is basically testing you on the rules. And in case of B, because we are applying the higher TDS limit, and thus K and B ke liye reporting has to be done. What is the amount of penalty for 271 FA? See, June se we will start at 500 till 30th October. So June, July, August, September, October ka 30 days, 500. You will get this, and then 1000 will be 31st October and 25 November. 35th October. So iska 1026. The penalty for SOFT ka delay is going to be 1,02,000. Let us assume that on 26 to 22, as a result of business organization, cooperative bank got succeeded by another cooperative bank. Assuming that the deduction for section 32, matlab depreciation, is 350, and that the predecessor and successor cooperative bank had incurred expenditure of 30 lakh during 1920 on VRS. Predecessor had incurred on VRS 30 lakh, matlab 1/5 karke every year 6 lakh ka deduction hona chahiye. What is the deduction allowable to the predecessor under 32 and 35 DDA? Now please pay attention. Your 32 ka deduction for the year is 3,50,000 given to you, section 32 ka deduction, and your 35 DDA VRS ka deduction 1/6 over a period of 5 years, that is 6 lakh. 30 lakh ka 1/5. What will be predecessor? In this case, this is what I was explaining to you some questions ago. The deduction between predecessor and the successor shall be apportioned in the ratio of number of days. Deduction between predecessor and successor shall be apportioned in the ratio of number of days. So from 1st April till the date of reorganization will be to the, they are asking predecessor. So we focus on the predecessor. 32 ka depreciation is going to be 3,50,000, 331 days hota hai. You can count from 1st April till 26 February, 331 days. You can subtract the number of days of March and the remaining days of February, you will get your answer. So this will be the deduction of section 32, and 35 DDA ke andar 30 lakh ka 1/5, because 1/5 over a period of 5 years, and again proportionate, because they are asking for predecessor. समझ लीजिए successor का पूछा होता तो successor का number of days would have been how much? Successor का number of days would have been how much? 365 minus 331. 31 days of March and 26, 27, 28, 3 days of February. 31 days of March, 26, 27, 28, 3 days of February, 34 days. But if they ask for successor, then it will be 34 upon 365. If they ask for predecessor, then it is going to be 331 upon 365. The date of succession is counted in the successor. So we have to take till 25th of February, and accordingly, the total that we are getting 861,507. 861,507 is going to be your deduction between predecessor and successor in the ratio of number of days. Again a case study, 345. We have 2 more case studies and then the chapter will get over, and we have done a good number of questions today. So after PGBP, I leave you today. I will not harass you more. 345 to 349. Wellness Private Limited, Indian company incorporated on 1/4/21, offers multidisciplinary marketing services in print and digital media to Indian businesses to carry on its businesses. Company has engaged local advertising specialists in the field of print and digital media. These specialists attend to the client of the company by doing required consultancy, execution, and also perform analysis of result. Depending upon request of client, whether print or digital mode, specialists perform relevant tasks. Advertisement company, a print or digital, specialist independent. They employ their individual skill and exercise discretion judgment. Kya time pass karke rakha hai bro? Nothing of all this is relevant anywhere in the law. Policies of the company regarding working hours, annual leave and all that do not apply to these specialists. कहने का मतलब, in short, they are independent professionals. इतना ही पूछ रहा है. The remuneration varies every month, depends upon type of service and all. During the year 21-22, Wellness Private Limited recorded turnover. This is the turnover of the current year in its books of accounts. Inspired by government's Digital India initiative, the company provided electronic payment facility. Most of the billed amount was collected through digital means, except from customer X, bill number 15 of this date, which was collected through 550. Customer X paid the amount in cash to the company in 4 installments, 150, 75, 175, 150. And the other receipts and payments are given to you. other receipts and payments are given to you. मतलब this is the total receipts, उसका cash is only this much. We will see 5% का limit. Other things are given. Remuneration to those 20 specialists, those independent professionals. Net banking 35 lakh. Salary to staff, 1 staff, 2 staff. Each person has total income of 5 lakh. So there are 4 people, 1 HR, 1 junior coordinators. That means there may be 3 junior coordinators. So there will be total 4 people altogether. 5 lakh ka remuneration and 4 lakh. So 20 lakh. But paid through net banking. So doesn't matter. Wages to 1 security guard and 2 housekeeping. So 3 people, 15,000 each. 15,000 per month. That means 180 in the year for 1 person. So 3 people ka total will be 540. But this 15 it was paid in cash. 48.3. क्या deep testing है देखो. Computer purchased on 15th May 21 and put to use from 15th October 21. Account page है. मतलब 15th October अगर depreciation किया तो we will have to be careful that we will be applying half rate depreciation. Interest on loan availed from 15th April from SBI on purchase of computers. Computer purchased on 15th May put to use on 15th October but loan was taken on 15th April. मतलब is this interest will be split into 2 parts. The interest from 15th April to 14th October will be capitalized and added in the cost for depreciation. And the remaining interest, whatever you remove from here, the remaining interest ka deduction you will take as revenue. मतलब they are testing you on this also. Capitalize the interest before using and the revenue. Other admin expense, each expenses of less than 8,070. So cash is allowed. And advance given to suppliers, again 90. This will also be disallowed. The company could recruit a qualified finance and account professional only on 21st March 22. मतलब they recruited everyone. लेकिन tax वाले को auditor they did not want to recruit. Post his appointment, necessary income tax statutory compliances were undertaken and default of non-deduction of tax on expenses of the full year was corrected in the month of April 22. मतलब in all these expenses हमने TDS काटा ही नहीं है. We deduct TDS in April and the company withheld the expenses and paid the tax in the same month. But in the current year we have not deducted. Once you do not, suno, in current year you don't deduct. In April you deduct and pay, but still it will be disallowed. वो due date तक का facility is allowed only if you deduct in the current year, then you get time till the due date. But otherwise, if it is not deducted, whichever payment, of course liable, we will check कौन सा payment liable for TDS है. Whichever payment is liable for TDS, that we will see. Being the first year of operation, all transactions of the company are with Indian resident parties. मतलब transfer pricing not applicable. मतलब clear हो जाए कि due date is going to be November, October, not presumptive अगर है तो it will be July. Then तो क्योंकि 1.1 करोड़ है. But I think ये तो कौन सा advertisement facility, तो presumptive का भी no relevance. It is going to be October only because turnover has exceeded 1 crore. Company has chosen to follow mercantile. From the following information, choose the most appropriate answer. Is Wellness Private Limited required to get its books of account audited for 44 AB? First of all, that 10 crore का limit is available only 5% का limit is है. तो वो 10 crore से कम है, 1.1 है. But is it eligible for that 10 crore? Is it eligible? Receipt 1.1 crore का 5% 550. तो आपका cash में there is only one receipt. Only this one receipt of 550. Receipt is within 5% limited. But what are our total payments? 35 plus 20 plus 540 plus 350 plus 34 500 plus 70 plus 90. Total payments, you add all of them. You add करोगे ना all this and all this, that will give you total payments. इस total payment पे if you apply 5%, तो maximum cash payment should have been 329 225. Maximum cash payment 329. Can we see? We already have more cash payment than this. मतलब that receipt and payment both within 5% का rule is not fulfilled. If not fulfilled, then 10 crore का facility is not available. Now you have only two options, 1.1 or 2 crore. 10 crore का facility is not going to be available. 10 crore का facility not available. Okay. So is it required to get books of accounts audited? Listen, 10 crore का तो facility only is not available. So wrong reason. Yes, since the turnover has exceeded 1 crore. अब आप बोलेगा सर 2 करोड़ तक भी तो presumptive ले सकता है ना. सुनो, it's a company. So 44 AD is not available to company. 44 AD resident individual HF firm पूछेगा तो बोलेगा individual HF firm not being LLP, individual, it's a company. 44 AD not allowed. So yes, 1 crore देखना है. Turnover 4480 not covered मतलब 1 crore. See, 2 crore is available to those who are covered in 4480. 10 crore if receipts and payments are up to 5%. Receipts are up to 5%. Payments more हुआ तो 10 crore facility not available. And 2 crore only for people covered in 4480. And this company है, ये company है not covered. Okay, so this facility not allowed. Cash receipts during the year do not exceed 5% of the total amount received. Well, see, to be very honest, that way the receipt alone is not enough. That is relevant only for the 10 crore. So that is irrelevant. Cash payment have exceeded. That is making us, and the company is not eligible for presumptive taxation. The company is not eligible for presumptive because it is a company. So cash payment have exceeded 5%, not eligible for presumptive, and turnover more than 1 crore. The reason stated in 2, 5 and 6 above. Heavy scene, bro. What is the amount to be disallowed for non-deduction of TDS? Non-deduction हुआ है तो ड्यू डेट तक का टाइम नहीं मिलता है. What is the amount to be disallowed? ध्यान से देखो, चेक करो. Is this liable? Yes, independent professionals. So liable for TDS, but not deducted. Disallowed. ये सैलरी सबका इनकम has exceeded more than 5 lakh, मतलब they fall in tax bracket, but we do not deduct. So ये 20 lakh के ऊपर भी we have not deducted TDS. So this 55 lakh total हो गया. This their individual income is 180, मतलब they are not falling in tax bracket, so 192 is not applicable. कंप्यूटर परचेस पे तो कोई टीडीएस आता नहीं है. एसबीआई को इफ यू आर पेइंग इंटरेस्ट नो टीडीएस. दीज आर लेस अमाउंट का एक्सपेंसेस, none of them, but 35 and 20 attract TDS. These are the only two payments attract TDS, and we have not deducted TDS. So 30% will be disallowed. 16,50,000 is going to be the amount of disallowance for failure to deduct TDS. Failure to deduct TDS 16,50,000. What is the amount of depreciation allowable, bro? Cost of computer 350 plus interest capitalized also. From which date to which date? April to October. So what is the cost? 350. Interest 34,500. 183 upon 351. Actually वो months में करोगे तो rounded off करके ले रहा है 18,000. It is going to near about come to 18,000. Okay, it is only because of rounding of difference that 7987 is coming. That means can I say cost of the computer is 368 because we have capitalized the interest up to the date of put to use. उस पे 40% कंप्यूटर का रेट टीडिंग half क्योंकि the computer was acquired and put to use less than 180, acquired during the year less than 180, तो half मतलब 350 is the cost, 18 is the capitalized interest, इस total पे 40% का half लगाओगे 73,600 will be your allowable depreciation deduction. 73,600. What is the total income, bro? मतलब turnover ले, सब expense minus कर. 35 and 20 lakh में we will not subtract full amount because we have to invoke disallowance also. 1650 we will add back, ठीक है. Okay, then we will see ये जैसे 540 का wages will be disallowed because 10,000 पे वो. Then in this you will take depreciation. In this interest 18,000 is gone, so remaining interest we will be taking. 18 is capitalized, no? Remaining interest. Then this expense will be allowed, but this will not be allowed. एक expense देखना. 1 crore 10 lakh is your receipt. ये first two expense का deduction if we take 35 and 20, we take 35 and 20, but उसमें 1650 will be disallowed, or you can take 55 lakh minus 1650 का deduction. ये सब minus हो रहा है, but we are adding back because of disallowance. Depreciation, interest 34,500 में से 18 capitalized, so 16,500, and then we will get only deduction of this 70,000 because बाकी सब में we have made cash violation. 69, 89, 900 is going to become your taxable income of the company for the year, and is penalty impossible for receipts from customer X. Yes, individual का limit नहीं मिलता है in respect of a single transaction, and thus yes there will be a penalty of 550. मजा आया. 2 more case studies. मेरा calculation mistake हो गया. 50 to 54 है and then 55 to 60 है. 2 more case studies. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Beta Limited, a company engaged in biotechnology business, has disclosed net profit of 33 lakh after debiting the following item. Depreciation as per Companies Act. So ये disallow करके as per income tax will allow. Interest paid to ex incorporation foreign company without TDS 150. Such tax was deducted on 10th April and paid on 7th May. देखो, if the previous year is over, then if you pay before due date, it is irrelevant. ये due date का facility is available only to those who deducted. So you have not deducted only. मतलब ये 150 अभी तो disallow होगा, अगले साल allow. Expenditure on in-house scientific research and development. Equipment purchase 220 and remuneration to scientist 80. So that will become a total of 3 lakh. In-house R&D 35 to AB में जाता है. And वैसे it is revenue and capital expense for your, see, this is capital expense and this is revenue expense for one business. तो old regime में भी you can take 3511 and 35 2, that's 3 lakh. Contribution to national laboratory 35 288. That means this will be allowed whether you are in old regime or new regime, but this will be allowed only if you are in old regime. The company purchased a new plant and machinery for 40 lakh for manufacturing clinical drugs on 2nd September and put the same to use on 1st November. मतलब once again half rate concept. For this purpose, it borrowed 30 lakh on 1st September 21. For this purpose, it borrowed 30 lakh on 1st September 21 and paid interest at 10% per annum. तो सुनो, सबसे पहले तो interest will be only from September to March. 3 lakh is not the interest for them. In the previous question, 34,500 was given. Here you have to compute the interest. 3 lakh, that also September to March, 7 months. और उसमें से September and October का interest will be capitalized. September and October का interest will be capitalized. Remaining interest will be allowable as a deduction. And capitalize करके we will get the cost and 40 lakhs plus the capitalized interest. That total के ऊपर when we subtract depreciation used for less than 180 days. तो half rate लगेगा और new plant and machinery है. तो ladies and gentlemen, maybe additional depreciation भी हो. खतरनाक. Company also purchased a motor car for 7 lakh on 2nd October 20, which was put to use on the same date. Okay, I think this requires a correction. It has to be 21. Motor car is purchased during the current year. ये कोई last year का नहीं, unlike that Akash and Vikas question. 21. Written down value of the block of machinery on 1/4/21 is 95 lakh. मतलब machinery का opening WDV is 95 lakh plus motor. Actually, motor car should also go in the 15% bracket. From the given information, choose the most appropriate answer. What would be the depreciation of plant and machinery? 15%, and motor car, assuming that it is the only asset. Actually, motor car should also be added in this block and total पे 15. But they are saying नहीं, अलग करो, क्योंकि motor car block में अलग दिया, rate same है लेकिन अलग दिया. तो motor car का तो कुछ नहीं है, 7 lakh है and 2nd October मतलब full year का depreciation 7 lakh का 15%, 105 should be the answer for the motor car. Or if we take, because based on the answer which was given by ICAI to confuse, क्योंकि it cannot be so easy. What they gave is 2nd October. Actually, it was a last year ka question. I'll understand. I'll make you explain what the error here. This is taken from an RTP. RTP was made for the previous year 2021 because it was made for last year ka student, and they said that the asset was purchased in 19. So I changed the date 20. Initially देख के मेरे को लगा that it should be corrected. 20 is only right. Basically you purchased in 2021, एक साल पहले, मतलब 7 lakh में purchase किया, 2021 का depreciation charge करके you have to come to the present date का opening WDV. Plant and machinery का opening WDV is already given to you 95 lakh. इसके अंदर we will add this machinery and calculate the depreciation. Motor car इसके लिए अलग से दिया. Now we understand, because motor car is a separate block and plant and machinery is separate block. Motor car का last year का depreciation करके we will come to the opening WDV, then we will charge the current year का depreciation. लेकिन for the other asset 95 का opening WDV is given. So if we talk about motor car, this is for the year 2021. For 2021 we will charge 15% depreciation. We will get WDV on 1/4/21. So don't make the correction. Let it remain at October 2020. And इसके ऊपर if you charge 15% depreciation, you will get 89,250 as motor car. That is only appearing in option C, but इसका भी देख लेते हैं. What about the plant and machinery? Opening WDV 95 lakh, purchased but used from 1st November, so less than 180 days. Cost 40 lakh, and we will capitalize. How? 30 lakh का principal, 10% is per annum. So we will be paying only 7 months का interest. September को loan लिया, September to March, and उसमें भी year we will capitalize only 2 months because सितंबर अक्टूबर का इंटरेस्ट कैपिटल है, सो टोटल इंटरेस्ट विल बी समथिंग एल्स, बट हियर वी विल कैपिटलाइज. टोटल इंटरेस्ट विल बी 30 लाख का 10% into 7 by 12. Total interest will be some 1,75,000, but we are going to capitalize only 50,000. Only 50 because we will take only 2 months. का मतलब the remaining 125 will be treated as your revenue expense. Okay. Now this is the value of your block 13550. इस पे normal depreciation 95 lakh पे full rate, 45 के ऊपर half rate. And additional depreciation only 40.5 के ऊपर half rate. Additional depreciation only 40.5, but again half rate, and that will give you. Anyways, अगर आपका मोटर कार का आंसर आ गया है तो it is going to be this answer only. 350 का आंसर will be C. What is the quantum of disallowance if any attracted for non-deduction of TDS for interest paid to X in corporation? Due date का facility is not allowed. That is only for deducted but not deposited. You have not deducted only, and therefore for non-deduction full. Non-resident है full 150. Very easy. What would be the deduction allowable if the company opts for special provision? 115B double. देखो न्यू रेजिम में आप बोलेगा साइंटिफिक रिसर्च नॉट अलाउड, लेकिन सुनो 2 sections 35(1)(1) and 35(2) means revenue and capital expenditure for own business. This may not be allowed, but this 3 lakh is going to be allowed. So even if I opt for new regime, these two are going to be allowed, and that 220 plus 83 lakh will be allowed. 35(1)(1), 35(2) are allowed in old regime. That's the line that is being tested here. What would be the income under PGBP if the company does not opt for the special provision under 115BAA? So finally they are also asking you to compute the taxable income. पहले इन्होंने 33 लाख दिया है, प्लीज फोकस करो. 33 lakh में we add 1520. Let me explain the adjustment, then I will show you the solution. Add as per books less as per tax होगा, तो add 1520. When you add 1520, at the same time don't forget that means you have to take this depreciation less 89,250 and less 33,750. ये दोनों minus because add as per books less as per tax. So add 1520 less 89,250 and 21,33,750. Then this will be disallowed, so nothing to be done. Old regime भी है, but this 3 lakh will be allowed. Question क्या बोला? The company does not opt for the special provision, so this 3 lakh will still be allowed. This will not be allowed. National Laboratory. यहाँ पे we have already checked that the depreciation 21,33,750 and 89,250. The remaining interest, so 30 lakh में से interest 175 में से 50 is capitalized, तो remaining interest will come here, and that's it. तो how to check? 33 lakh 1520 depreciation as per books, लेकिन less as per tax. Add as per books, less as per tax. अरे correct or no? Add as per books, less as per tax. मित्रों, add as per books, less as per tax. So 21, 33,750 and 89,250 will be allowed, and 1520 जो books वाला है वो disallowed. Now this 150 will be disallowed, so we will have to add back 150. हमने add back कर दिया. This 3 lakh is allowed expense and debit बोला ना, after debiting the following items. तो allowed है and debit, तो in the computation we have to give no effect, but this 5 lakh will be disallowed. तो ये 5 lakh हमको add back करना पड़ेगा. 5 lakh is going to be disallowed, so 5 lakh we will have to add back. Please pay attention. If a company opts for new taxation regime, then this will not be allowed. Small error. The company has opted for new taxation regime, then it will not be allowed. ये question के अंदर क्या दिया है? Company does not opt for new taxation regime. If the company does not opt for new taxation regime, तो this will also be allowed. तो वापस से आपको start to finish, confusion नहीं होना चाहिए. Please pay attention. Okay? हाँ, 2 घंटे के बाद में सबके साथ होता है. 33 lakhs is the net profit. ये अपना starting point. This disallowed. Therefore add back because it is debited. लेकिन if you add this, then you have to less 21,33,750 and you have to less 89,250 because add as per books, less as per tax. Then this you will have to add back because it is debited. The small error was this you should read it as not opting. Not opting मतलब scientific research का all expense will be allowed. New regime में जाएगा then it will not be allowed. मतलब this 3 lakh will also be allowed. This 5 lakh will also be allowed. Already debited, so no effect, no effect, no effect, no effect. Then we will give deduction of our depreciation जो हमने already calculate कर लिया, and deduction of interest. जो भी हमारा बचा हुआ interest है that will be allowed. whatever is our balance interest that is going to be allowed to us. Total interest कितना होगा 30 lakh का 10% for 7 months 175, उसमें से भी capitalize 50,000, 175 में से भी capitalize 50,000, so 125 का interest also will be allowed. So we subtract 125 to give you the presentation. 33 lakh, add depreciation as per books less as per tax, add back the non-resident का amount which was without TDS. The scientific research वाला already debited and allowed, so no effect. And ये 125 you have to less because this is the other interest except the one which is capitalized. 2622 will be the income of the company. Taxable income will be 2622. What would be the income chargeable if the company opts for the special provision of 115BAA? मतलब now it is going in the new regime. यहाँ पे does not opt था, तो national laboratory will be allowed. My mistake, I apologize. यहाँ पे opt मतलब what will be the disallowances? 1. क्या आपका यहाँ पे depreciation, this will be disallowed. In this allowed depreciation जो आपने additional depreciation दिया है ना, that you have to add back. I hope you understand. If it is additional depreciation, that will be disallowed. This you can take in new regime also, but this 5 lakh, that means basically the only two tax benefits that you have taken are additional depreciation and national laboratory. तो आपका जो ये 2622 आया है, in 2622 you have to add back additional depreciation and additional depreciation that was taken by you, and you have to add back ये national laboratory का 5 lakh. So 2622 plus national laboratory का 5 lakh and additional depreciation 40 lakh 50 का 20% का half मतलब 4 lakh 5,000. If you add back these three, 2622 plus total भूल गए plus 9 lakh 5,000, you will get your taxable income as 35 lakh 27,000. That's your case study, second last. And finally we have the last case study which will go from 355 to 359, and then we have one single question, 3 section. Following details pertain to Arvind and his three brothers Arjun, Anand, Akash. Alliteration. Arvind, Arjun, Anand, Akash. Okay. Arvind, Arjun and Anand are engaged in retail business and Akash is in interior decoration. मतलब Arvind, Arjun and Anand may be 44 AD cases and Akash is ADA cases. All of them maintain as per 44 AA. While the brothers are engaged in retail trade business, follow mercantile system of accounting. Akash, of course, cash system of accounting. Details are given. Turnover is given. Arvind, Arjun, Anand. तो ये तो 44 AD के लिए eligible नहीं है. These two are going to be eligible is what I can guess here. Out of which cash is received is this much. अभी ये तो eligible ही नहीं है, तो it is irrelevant. He has to, Anand has to pay tax on actual income. Anand has to pay tax on actual income. Topic over. Arvind and Arjun. So this data, amount received in cash, amount received in NEFT is going to be irrelevant. This data is going to be irrelevant. Cash है मतलब this will go in 6%. NEFT और ये cash है तो it will go in 8%. NEFT और ये है तो 6%. Now total receipts, वो sales के अलावा भी receipts हो सकता है ना, other receipts also. They have given you total receipts. Out of which how much is cash receipt. Total receipt इसमें से cash कितना है and total payment में cash. So they will check the applicability of new 10 crore वाला limit and profit as per books of accounts. Akash का receipts are 48 lakh. So he is eligible. Interior decoration 50 lakh के अंदर. Out of which 3 lakh has been received in cash. That is irrelevant for 44 AD यानी 44 AD के लिए relevant. And profit in books is 24.7. ठीक है. From the information given above, choose the most appropriate answer. Which of the individual are eligible for presumptive taxation? देखो ये retail has a 2 crore, retail has a 2 crore and ये interior decoration 50 lakh. Only Anand जिसका turnover is 5 crore is not eligible. So Arvind, Arjun and Akash. Don't get confused in the names. They are similar sounding, deceptively similar. Arvind, Arjun and Akash. 355 C. Which of the following individuals have to mandatorily get their books of accounts audited under 44 AB? Mandatory audit. देखो, anybody who is eligible for presumptive mandatory audit हो ही नहीं सकता. These three cannot be the answer. Arvind, Arjun, Anand अगर किधर दिया है, that cannot be the answer. Arvind, Arjun, if it is given, Arvind or Arjun is given, or Akash is given, Arvind, Arjun or Akash, who is eligible for presumptive, cannot be mandatorily required to get books of accounts audited. आनंद के लिए देख लेते हैं, presumptive तो not available, लेकिन audit का तो नया लिमिट 10 करोड़ है ना. that 10 crore will be applicable only if cash receipts and payments both are within 5%. तो हम चेक करेगा आर कैश रिसीट्स एंड पेमेंट्स 5.5 का 5% करेगा तो आपको 27.5 मिलेगा विद इन द लिमिट, एंड इसका 5% करेगा तो आपको 22.5 मिलेगा विद इन द लिमिट. कैश रिसीट्स एंड पेमेंट्स बोथ आर विद इन द लिमिट, तो इसका प्रिजम्पटिव नॉट अलाउड, बट टैक्स ऑडिट आफ्टर 10 crore, तो आनंद ऑल्सो इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू कंपल्सरी गेट हिज बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स ऑडिटेड. दीज आर एलिजिबल फॉर प्रिजम्पटिव, तो ये तो आंसर हो ही नहीं सकता. आनंद नॉट एलिजिबल फॉर प्रिजम्पटिव, बट देन कैश रिसीट्स एंड पेमेंट्स बोथ विद इन 5%, तो 10 crore का लिमिट. What is the amount of profit and gain business chargeable to tax for Arvind, Arjun and Anand? मतलब ये तीन. Assuming that they wish to make maximum tax savings without getting the books of accounts audited. देखो, Anand is not required to get audit done because वो तो 10 crore के लिमिट में फॉल हो गया. And his tax savings में presumptive is not allowed. मतलब under all cases, आनंद को तो ये 30 lakh पे टैक्स भरना पड़ेगा. Anand has to pay tax on actual. Under all circumstances, Anand will have to pay tax on actual because presumptive he is not allowed. Arvind Arjun can take presumptive and see what we have to do, but Anand तो नहीं ले सकता. तो these two options to get cancelled. Now let's talk about Arvind and Arjun. If they go for presumptive, that means can I say we'll have to calculate. For Arvind, total receipts are 95 lakh. उसमें से amount received through eligible mode is only 85 lakh. That means 85 lakh के ऊपर 6% लगेगा. अब जो 5 lakh कैश में है and there is 5 lakh missing also, no, it can be outstanding also, that full 10 lakh will go in 8%. So 10 lakh का 8% और इसका 6%, 5.9 lakh we are getting. 5.9 किस ऑप्शन में? And I can see option C. Actually अगर मैं I don't calculate also no for Arjun, I can still get the answer, but let's calculate. Arjun का it is 1.8. In that only this 1.65 will go in 6%. This 8 lakh is cash 8% and missing 7 lakh. That will also go in 8%. मतलब 15 lakh का 8%, 1.65 का 6%, 11.1 we are getting also. So 5.9, 11.1 and 30 lakh. 5.9, 11.1, 30 lakh. देखो. In case of Anand, there is no option. 30 is your only option because presumptive not allowed. In case of Arvind, we are getting actual also 5.9, presumptive also 5.9. So chalega, no problem. Whether he gets audit or no, without audit, presumptive. In case of Arjun, if he goes for presumptive, his income is coming to 11.1. Without audit, he has to go for presumptive only. Because if he leaves presumptive, 1 crore limit is applicable. What is the tax audit limit? 1 crore. 2 crore only if you take presumptive, only if you take presumptive. So without audit, 1.8 pe you have to take presumptive. Without audit, at 1.8 you have to take presumptive. If you want to go in actual, then 1 crore cross hote hi audit will be required. And this question is asking without audit. So without audit, Arvind ke liye it may not make a difference, but for Arjun, agar audit karayega, then he can go in 10.5. And why will audit be applicable? Why I am not saying that for Arvind? Because iska to 1 crore hi cross nahi hua. Audit will never be required. Iska 1 crore has crossed. But he can save himself if he goes for presumptive. But presumptive lega to 11.1, and if you want to offer 10.5, then 1 crore cross hote hi audit will be required. Would your answer change, that is profit and gain chargeable for Arvind, Arjun and Anand, if they decide to get accounts audited? देखो, audit करने का benefit क्या है? You can offer actual profit. देखो, Anand is तो not liable. Anand का answer cannot change. Liable ही नहीं है. Likewise, Arvind is also not liable. करा भी लेता तो भी actual is also 5.9. Answer will change for Arjun. अगर Arjun audit करवाएगा, then he can offer actual. After 1 crore, audit is compulsory. Presumptive liya, then 2 crore. So if Arjun leaves presumptive, he goes to actual, then he is ready to get it done audited. So Arjun ka answer will change, but in case of Anand and Arvind, it will not change. Arvind ka to वैसे भी 5.9 and Anand ka bhi he is not eligible only. So the profits and gains for Arjun will change, but there will be no change for Arvind and Anand. And what is the due date of filing return of income for Arvind, Arjun, Anand and Akash? सबका पूछा है. If they wish to make maximum tax savings, if they wish to make maximum tax saving मतलब they will offer lower income. अब सुनो, as far as Arvind is concerned, whether I go in actual or I go in presumptive, for Arvind तो audit is not applicable for sure and not covered in audit. मतलब Arvind के लिए my answer is 31st July. I'll finish the easy ones first. Anand के लिए audit is not applicable because Anand is fulfilling the condition of 5%. And if he is fulfilling the condition of 5%, if he is fulfilling the condition of 5%, देखो अर्जुन के लिए भी आप बोल सकते थे नहीं सर 10 करोड़ लगेगा ना, 10 करोड़ will apply no, but अर्जुन के केस में the 5% limit is getting exceeded here. 1.6 का 5% जो है ना 8 लाख आता है, 5% is exceeding, तो उसको भी 10% का 10 करोड़ का बेनिफिट नहीं मिलेगा. आनंद is within 10, मतलब आनंद के लिए ऑडिट नॉट एप्लीकेबल, एंड आनंद के लिए इफ ऑडिट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी एप्लीकेबल देन व्हाट इज गोइंग टू बी द ड्यू डेट. इफ ऑडिट इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल तो आनंद आल्सो 31 जुलाई ना. इसका तो टर्नओवर ही 48 लाख है, इसका टर्नओवर इज 48 लाख, देन अगेन 50 लाख इज नॉट क्रॉस, तो आकाश के लिए भी 31 जुलाई है. बट इन केस ऑफ अर्जुन, अर्जुन हैज टू डिसाइड if I do audit then 10.5 will be applicable, and if I don't do audit then without audit 11.1. and question is asking if they want maximum tax savings. In case of maximum tax savings, this fellow Arjun will have to offer 10.5 because that will result in tax savings. 10.5 कराया तो audit कराएगा, and audit कराएगा तो it will become October. So for Arvind, Anand and Akash it will become July, but for Arjun it will become October. For Arjun it will become October. July for Arvind, Anand and Akash, and Arjun ka October. Benefit of presumptive taxation under Income Tax Act would not be available to Akash. A independent question, not this Akash, another Akash. If he is engaged in which business? Aircraft and shipping is allowed. This is also allowed. Turnkey project it is required for only company. This is also a repeated question, I think. So it is going to be C. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you have realized what you have done in PGBP, especially the last few case studies. And once you are perfect with this, institute has got this limited pool of questions. They may be asking questions from this only. Practice this and you are all set to get you can get 30 out of 30 also. Okay, so we will be having mostly 1 or 2 episodes. We will finish everything. Thank you for watching today. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. Good night, please.